Because the picture of dry bones in the valley is talking about you. The picture of Lazarus laying dead 4 days is talking about you. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bones. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded.
And by the way, we blood of Christ. We blood of Moses. We're not just a color in a crayon box. And if we knew that, who we really were, we'd treat each other differently. We'd treat ourselves differently.
Kanye West, he is digging in, issuing a non-apology apology in a new interview after his anti-Semitic, anti-black comments.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
And we original man and woman anyway.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
And when you do your real true research about the Hebrews and the Jews and the Israelites and all that, you find out that they look a lot like us sitting in this room right now. So
people, you gotta realize the first Jews were black.
Jews.
Yes.
Not
Israelites.
Jews.
The Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews. Jews were black.
Right.
I hope your actions encourage many others to stand up and say enough is enough. Respect to you, Kyrie.
We don't want answers. We want change. We want to be treated like we're supposed to be treated. But because now I've educated myself and I understand who I am, biblically, like spiritually, the true Israelite, I'm not sure if change is ever going to come on that end. So now my thing is I'm pleading that change will come amongst us, amongst God's chosen one. I had somebody come up on my page the other day and was like, and I never read my comments, but since all this has been going on, you know, I kind of read because sometimes I have other celebrities or other people hit me in DMs and stuff I normally don't check to ask me to be a part of stuff or just checking up on me, or we're checking up on each other. And so I saw the person say, you know, we are all God's children. And yeah, we are. But he has his 12 tribe, his chosen one. And I know who I am. And that's what I was talking about. And so in order to know what I was talking about, you got to study that, to show that stuff. You got to study. We got to get in the book.
Not at all. So in order for me to be anti-Semitic, I'd have to be anti-black man, anti-black woman, anti-black people, anti-Africa, anti-all of the people.
Because the Semitic people
are black people.
So y'all get that clarity. We're going to say that again.
Now,
the Semitic people are black people.
So I cannot be anti-Semitic.
Let's talk about it. We can talk about the 12 tribes of Israel, who's the chosen people. Let's talk about it. We can talk about the original man. I'm ready to talk about this all day.
Well, I didn't say Jewish, Joe.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I just said I come to the realization, you know, saying some years back, you know what I'm saying, that you know, who we call African Americans here in this country is the descendants of the biblical Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? I know the boy Nick Cannon caught a lot of flack for saying it, you know, because he's on a tremendous platform. You know what I'm saying? Nick Cannon.
Oh, Nick Cannon said that, and then that was the controversy.
Yeah. Because he mentioned that the original Hebrew Israelites was people of color. You feel me?
And so.
But it's not just him saying that. You know, if you study, you read certain history books, you start digging. You know what I'm saying? That's all you're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? So if you apply yourself, you know what I'm saying? It's documented so much throughout history.
It became a problem for us because of the propaganda machine. But it's more of a problem for them.
Right.
Because they've taken our birthright.
Right. They don't want us to be them.
Not deeper than that. They don't want us to be us.
I thank God, Father God, for this moment, this situation, this circumstances here tonight. And I thank his son, Jesus Christ, who loved me and who gave himself for me. I'm honored to be here tonight. To the people of the book, my people, I love you. The message is, the work is finished. Walk in it.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom to all the nation, all the Zion scattered the full corner of the earth. Brother Najee.
Hey, bro, how you doing today, man? Shabbat shalom to all the family out there. We probably got some little bit of folks trickling in now. Hope you all are enjoying your Shabbat today. I was talking to Brother Elisha earlier. I could see out in Jersey, man, the sun is out. Over here in California right now, it's a little bit dreary, but still a beautiful day, man.
Now we pray everybody is blessed. We wanted to talk about today about that we're more than Deuteronomy 28. Now we're going to look at a video, or at least a little bit of the video, to look at how the goalposts keep shifting when it comes to our people. That you have our own people within the Christian church that talk about us as if we're a doctrine or a religion and not a people. Now that's an interesting thing, that you got groups of our own people within the church that speak about us in a way as if there's a Hebrew Israelite problem. That's the name of the video. We're going to check out some of the video. That is there a Hebrew Israelite problem, and that we only use Deuteronomy 28 to say we're the people of the Bible. But just like our Mashiach say, he comes in the volume of the book, so are the curses and the prophecies regarding his people. We are in the volume of the book. All the prophets spoke about us. We're spoke about in the law. We're spoke about everywhere inside the book. Our dispersion, our in captivity, and also our restoration. But this is an interesting topic, that our people are always under this standard of proof, and that you can go to the Bible, go to the law, go to the prophecies and prove them. But why isn't the Jewish people under this same standard? What scripture do they go to? What did the League of Nations go to say, okay, we're going to establish this Zionist state? What part of the Bible proves that they are the real Jews, or even a member of the Israelites? Have they ever had to prove it? Has the church ever had them try to prove it? Muslims, any groups of our people that come out against us, the apologists and the hermeneutics crew, do any of them set those standards upon the Jewish people to prove that they're the people of the book? But it's just commonly accepted. It's accepted as if it's like laughable or blasphemous to even assume or to raise the point. that anybody can be the people but them. So why is it all these contradictions in the Bible if they're the people regarding who the people are? Why isn't it saying that his hair was stringy like a goat and his face was fair skin and his feet was like a red wine glass? Why is it not interpreted? Why is it not speaking that way? Why is everything inside the book affirm that we're the people? Brother Najee.
That's the case now. We were talking about also a little bit. We're going to get into this, how the standard keeps changing for us, and what I mean by that is we have to prove who we are. We have to dig into all the documents and show the proof. And even after we do that, it's still not believed. But the goalpost is changing, because now it's not so much that we are not the people, although people are still saying that. We got to prove it. But it's also this idea, right, that now it's about doctrine. So they're going to bring up everything about doctrine. Oh, you Hebrew Israelites believe this about the Bible, believe that about the Bible. What we want to put into place and establish is that we are not a religion. No matter what you believe, whether you're a Buddhist, whether you're Islamic, whether you're an atheist, no matter what you believe, it does not change your bloodline. You are who you are. Brother Elijah was saying this a little bit a while back. It'd be silly for me to go out into the world and say, oh, hey, wait a minute, I'm not African American. I'm not a Black American. Or, I denounce my race, but we've been seeing our people do that over and over again. Coming up, making videos, I'm no longer a Hebrew Israelite. Oh, you're not? What changed about your race? See, that is the established key right now. What they're trying to put us in is put us in this box of religion. And that's not what we are.
And the thing is that it's not as if there's no spoils when it comes to this. This is not just like an argument to win an argument. The fact that we're the people would mean that we inherit the land. The fact that we're the people is a birthright. There's an inheritance passed down. There's monies involved. There's lands involved. There's businesses involved. It's not like you're making a claim that reaps no benefit to you. And that's the thing, is that when you say that these Jewish people are the people, we act as if there's not a belonging or there's not some property that comes with that. So when we're making it a religious argument, we're allowing Christians to make a religious argument as if there's nothing to come of it other than bragging rights. It's tomfoolery. These Jewish people have expanded their borders to the point where there's no longer a Palestine. All that Palestine stuff is over with. There is no Palestine now. I know theoretically they'll keep pushing it that there's a Palestine, but there's not a Palestine anymore. They've taken those borders. And guess what's next? Syria and Jordan. That's what's next. But let's look at this part to this video, and you'll see what we're talking about, that our own people are looking at us as a doctrine and not a people. Makes us wonder, do they even know what we're trying to say? Do Christians, or does the church know what we're saying? So let me know.
While you're pulling that up, bro, you want me to hit the fair use?
Yeah, hit the fair use, bro.
All right, made it now.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. And this is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, brother, can you see that up there?
Yep, I can see it, bro.
Okay, so we're going to play this video, maybe the first few minutes of it.
Israelites just verbally attack and insult these people coming out of church, especially like women and young children. It's pretty hard to watch.
I think we failed at some point throughout the past decades to disciple the next generation properly and kind of stick to it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hebrew Israelism was like the number one cult that's really pulling away a lot of black men from the church. Yeah.
A lot of people feel like they don't have an identity as black people. And here's somebody telling you you're a king, you're a god, right? They should be your slaves. You know what I mean? That kind of feeling. They're the devil.
A lot of people are being drawn away from Christianity because of this, because they're not teaching this in the church. So you need to have humble leaders who are willing to recognize there's a problem going on.
I'm gonna just pause it real quick. If you can just see the intro to the video, that you have our own people talking about us as if we're a problem or an issue to our own people. Said the number one cult. Let me just wanted to say that.
There you go. Philip Mitchell got to be tired. He's got to be exhausted because it seems like every other week he's trending. And now you got the Hebrew Israelites showing up at 28:19.
That's why Jesus said, go to all nations. Right. Hey, I got a question for you, sis. I got a question, sis. I got a question, sis. I got a question, sis. Look, they on indoctrinated, y'all. Hey, I got a question. We hear from the Matthew 20:19. There you go.
Now, if you've been following me on TikTok or watching some of my YouTube videos, I already know I've got some critique for some of the things I've heard from Philip Mitchell and some of the things that I've seen from his followers that concern me. None of it like an essential like Christian doctrine. So like I would not categorize that church or him as heretical. But I do find it a little concerning like how people are responding to 28:19. Like some of it is kind of personality cultish, but that's another whole conversation. For all of the things that I could criticize Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell for, I do think he's making a lot of positive impact in the city of Atlanta. But I mean, watching those Hebrew Israelites just verbally attack and insult these people coming out of church, especially like women and young children, it's pretty hard to watch. But that's all.
But I just wanted to say this one thing. She said, those Hebrew Israelites. Imagine if she said, you see those African Americans out there verbally attacking people, verbally attacking children. Like just look at the mental or the psychology of talking about your people as if you're talking about something else. Imagine if she said that. The African Americans out there talking about Philip, whatever, Philip Anthony, I always forget his name, or African Americans out there talking disrespectful to children. This is the equivalent of what she's saying about us truly being an ancestral line. She's literally relegating us to a group or a cult or a religion, but doesn't understand that that'd be the equivalent of her saying African American.
Right.
She has completely separated her people from her people in her own mind.
And also what she's doing, it's kind of a bit of a a backdoor jab. There's nothing but men out there in IUIC on that street in front of that church. And when she highlights what they're doing, quote unquote, to women and children, she's putting all those quote unquote black men out there in danger. All those black men out there in IUIC, she's saying it's the men. And I don't know if everybody catches that when she says women and children. See, these are black men attacking black women and children. And that makes it even worse. And what it's designed to do, what this video is designed to do, is make it even worse for the quote unquote black community. Because it says now these aggressive black males are attacking these black women and children. I don't know if everybody caught that.
Absolutely.
Also very on brand for Hebrew Israelites. I think it would be a good idea for him to really teach his church what the beliefs of the Hebrew Israelites are and compare and contrast it to Orthodox Christian biblical teachings so that people can, be confident.
All right, so that was
Just 1 second, and she said that he should teach his church basically what the Israelite doctrine is, and that way they can counter it with the Christian doctrine. Am I right, Brother Najee?
Exactly.
But this is the thing: the church can't teach you how to combat an ancestral line, and that's the thing that the church. I'm not saying they don't understand, because I do believe they understand. They've been successful at diverting the point that we're making regarding us being a ancestral line, that the equivalent of them saying that we're African Americans, they should be saying we're Israelites. They've been able to bring a lot of conjecture into that to establish that we're nothing but a church or a group. There is no way for the Bible to, not even say the Bible, but that the Christian church can teach their people to be ready to battle that we're a ancestral line coming from the Bible. Only thing that they could teach them is to go back and forth about doctrine. And that's the one thing that that's not what we're trying to relate to our people.
Titus Jones. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking for clips for this 2819 thing. I'm like, well, why did I just pick her? She's coming. So I want to hear from you now.
Oh, it's so cringe listening to your own voice.
Of course.
Like, I know everybody's like, oh man, I hate watching footage of myself, even though I put a lot of footage out there. But yeah, I was not. It was so petty for y'all to use that against me. Like, I should have saw that one coming. But I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I would say it again. And I guess I'm saying it again here. I think that some of the Hebrew Israelites actually took that clip also.
Oh, really?
I didn't listen to their commentary, but some people
let me go
sent
find
it to
that
me.
real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, you let me know what they said, because I didn't listen to any of it. But yeah, Hebrew Israelites, they've just been a problem for a while. That's part of the reason why I even got into YouTube, is because a close friend from...
Yeah, just to make the same statement, she said African Americans have been a problem for a while.
Exactly.
That's how you know that she has a complete lack of understanding of who we are. The church itself, these Jewish people, the white foundation, the ones who taught us their version of Christianity, has been successful. You know, mentally we're destroyed. Mentally we're the valley of the dry bones. She says she really spoke about us Hebrew Israelites as if she was saying African Americans. And if you look at some of the sisters, you look at even some of the brothers, look how they adorn themselves. Face full of makeup, body exposed. It's not a matter of battling us. It's a matter of battling the words of the Most High that would change that type of display of yourself, to change the words within yourself, to change how you operate in the earth. That's really what the battle is about. What would make a person walk up to the sister right here and say, let me learn about Jesus, or learn about the Most High? What display is she showing that you should listen to her? What piousness are you going to look at and say, okay, she's the picture of it?
Church, became a Hebrew Israelite. And that's how I realized, like, I really don't know my Bible like I thought I knew it. So I was getting, like, this Hebrew Israelite was beating me up with my own Bible a lot of times. And I knew he was wrong, but I didn't know how to refute it. So all that stuff led me into reading more about Christianity and theology and like how to read my Bible, because I've been reading my Bible since I was 12, but didn't understand hermeneutics and, you know, interpretation and context and history and church.
Now she said Hebrew Israelites was beating her up with her own Bible. Interesting enough, that's what they're gathering for what we're saying. Now, never mind that IUIC or whatever other group goes out there and teaches that they're looking at, they need to battle our brothers and sisters or brothers that's out there teaching with the Bible. And she used something called hermeneutics. This is like, you know, I don't know if this is supposed to be a new phrase within the church. It's something I recently heard. I didn't know they were saying that. But hermeneutics is just basically about interpretation of the Bible. And that's one of the main problems we have with our people when our people out there teaching. Different interpretations back and forth. But the main message that's trying to be relayed to them is that we are the ancestral line in the Bible. We're the ones old. We the one have the legitimacy to the land of Palestine. We're the one has the legitimacy of the names of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have the legitimacy of the foreign aid, the reparations, repatriation, the lands, the titles, the hills, the valleys, everything that comes along with the Most High's promise. We are the legitimate heirs of those promises. The Christian church is looking at it as if it's a doctrinal battle about doctrine, not being heirs to a promise of a kingdom and a throne and a name. You want the vainglory of saying, hey man, I battled the Israelites in the Bible. but you don't want the glory that comes with being the true descendants that the Most High gave his law, statutes, and commandments to, and sent his son to restore us to himself. Brother Najee, you want to?
Yeah, no, that was good, bro. It's what I said before. It's they're bringing the battle against their own people and making it a doctrinal battle and ignoring the fact that we are saying you are a bloodline. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't change your blood. It doesn't change your lineage. Over and over again, like even in her own video when they were showing it and what she's saying now, she's separating herself, like you were saying, brother Elisha, she's separating herself from her brothers and sisters by saying, this is what the church fathers taught, not indicating that those church fathers had nothing to do with scripture. It's not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. It never did. And she's going to say that hermeneutics word, which is some, a word that Christians been using forever. It's a Greek word. It's a Greek word that they made up to sound smart. And we taken on that word, and now you got to have the proper hermeneutics in it. Like, forget that hermeneutic stuff, man. It don't matter. It holds no weight. It holds no weight for a bloodline.
And this is the thing. If say you wanted to bring in hermeneutics, or you wanted to say, okay, we're going to discern the truth, then you would have to pull those Jewish people into the fray to say, okay, let's discern who's the people. Are the Israelites right, or are they wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not often the discussion. Often the discussion is raptures. Often the discussions is virgin births. Often the discussions is the law done away with. Often discussions are doctrinal teachings that, like she said, the church fathers. You're not speaking for yourself. No, you're not the black brothers, not the sisters. You're not speaking for yourself. You're speaking for Martin Luther. You're speaking the words of Martin Luther. You're speaking the words of John MacArthur. You're speaking the words of their church fathers. You're not speaking the words of your assembled fathers. You're not speaking the words of your people. So how would a doctrine that's lined up to be replacement theology, supersessionalism, be able to line up with anything that we're saying as Israelites? We're challenging the people inside the land of Israel. We're challenging them. We're saying, yeah, we calling you out. You're not the people. This is not no argument we just want to make online. We're calling you out. Come outside. I'm calling you out. You're a liar and a thief. You stole land that don't belong to you. You're not the people. But our people, guess who they send as infantry to fight us? Our own people within the church. Send their own people after them. Their people got the zeal that they have. They'll be able to lock them up in so many frivolous arguments that's not the truth, that we can keep the eye off us. We can keep the eye off the fact that they have a legitimate claim to the land that we're in. They have a legitimate claim to the gold and the silver and the olive oil and the vineyards. They have a legitimate claim to something that would change their whole social economic condition. Let's send their own people after them. Send them, that way they'll stay distracted. Because this is not about bragging rights. This is about a kingdom. This is about a people. This is about a name. Keep them away from that subject. And guess what they do? They send our sisters and brothers as warriors against us on arguments that we shouldn't even be talking about. We shouldn't even be at no point of doctrine at all. We haven't even begun to indoctrinate you because we first have to establish who the people are before we can even get to the stage of indoctrination or religious arguments. We can't even get there yet because you can't get past the fact that you're still talking about yourself as an African American and not as the ancestral line of Israel.
Church history. So I think a lot of people in the church need that type of experience where you're talking to somebody who doesn't agree with you, because then that'll kind of show you whether or not like you really understand your own worldview. If you understand yours, then you can have a meaningful conversation with them. And I don't know if that's happening at 2819. I'm not sure if y'all have been there. I've never been there, and I'm probably never gonna
It's
go
real
there.
close here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, we passed it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we
Okay.
passed it yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, they have security there, so it's
You
locked up
can't
tight.
really. But just based on like clips, and I've watched a lot of sermons. People say you got to watch the whole sermons. I'm like, watch plenty of the sermons. I think the evangelism piece is strong. I'm not sure if the specifics of like Christian essentials are coming across, and that's why like when you see the girl saying, "I rebuke you in Jesus' name," it's like I get what she meant. And had you been filming me 7 years ago, I probably would have had a similar response. And maybe the best response for them was to say nothing, because I don't know what I would do. I mean, I've seen Hebrew Israelites in passing, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to say with these people, because they don't want to typically reason. Like, they just want to, prove you wrong. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that this experience causes the church, whether it be on Sunday mornings or discipleship, and maybe they're already doing this, but just
let me just say this, is that from now on, when we encounter Christians, the one question we should establish before we go forward is that, do you believe we're the people of the Bible? Don't give me this stuff about you just believe Jesus is black. Because for some reason, Jesus can be black, but yet you still support the modern occupation of Israel. Somehow you still support Netanyahu and the church's position on Israel, but you say Jesus is black. So the main question should be, do you believe we're the people of the Bible? That's where we have to start at. When Paul said, he said, I fed them milk and not strong meat. The milk is, can we at least establish, are we the people of the Bible? Because once we establish that, if they say, okay, the Jews were black, if they say that I believe we're the people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I believe that we were the original Israelites. Now the discussion can go forth for what's important. And what's important right now is that is our land. The things that they possess is ours. That's the truth. Why should we deal with any of the racism that we deal with in America? I mean, this is really by choice. If we are a sovereign nation, we have our own nation, why would we choose to be profiled, stop and frisked, be the main cog within the prison industrial complex? Why would we choose to have any amount of racism? Damn if it's only 5%. Damn if it's 1%. Why would we choose any racism whatsoever as a part of everyday life within a country that is not ours? Why would we choose that? Why would we choose to go to foreign nations to get jobs, food, subsidies? Why would we choose that? That would be a choice we're making, that we'll say, okay, we'd rather be under the dominion of a foreign nation that brought us here as slaves. We'd rather continue with their names on us and not have the land, the houses, the businesses, the Holy Land, the Qadash land. We would choose this over that. Why would any of the things that we face socially, the deprivations that we face, why would we choose that at all? What nation would do that? What nation like, say, China or India would choose to be subverted by another nation and to suffer any amount of racism, any amount of inequality as a part of everyday life? SNAP programs being taken away, low income housing, poor school districts. Why would anybody choose that over having their own? What nation puts that on their own people? That's what we're talking about here. Shouldn't be no arguments about nothing doctrinal with any Christian that we're reaching. It should only be, do you believe we're the ancestral lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Are we the Israelites? Are we the people of which Yeshua came or Jesus came? That's where we need to start it, because then it leads to the overall paramount question. If that is us and we believe that's us, why be here or scattered anywhere and not have what belongs to us? I don't know if you wanted to say something, Brother Najee.
Now, one of the biggest things, and that's good points. One of the biggest things that winds up happening is, even if they have this belief that we are that the American blacks, for example, are the Hebrew Israelites, there comes in this big question that sort of rattles everything, and that question is, what about everybody else? What about everybody else? Are you now saying that the quote unquote Gentiles can't be saved?
That's a religious argument. That's what I'm talking about. We got to stop it with are we the people? Because if you're saying that's our land, that's our houses, that the response can't be what about everybody else? We're just talking about titles. We're talking about possession. There is no what about everybody else when it comes to, hey, is this my land? Is this my house? Is this my car? But go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Right. No problem, bro. But that's how they now drag us into this conversation again about doctrine. And the point that we're trying to make here, and we'll get to the Deuteronomy 28 thing, but that's kind of what we're doing anyway. But the point that we're trying to make here is like the understanding that we are a bloodline is everything. Because if you look back at the children of Israel in Goshen, in Egypt, when they left, they did not want to leave. This is something we have to understand. They did not want to leave. They were kicked out. The Most High was putting so much pressure, so much plagues, so much death and destruction on Egypt that Egypt was like, y'all gotta go. Your Elohim is killing us. Get out of here. So they try, the point and understanding that Israel didn't even fully know in themselves at that point who they were. That's where we are now. And all our people don't know who we are. And the point of waking them up is part of the awakening. But we got to understand too, at some level, they're not all going to get it. Nobody, a huge majority of us are not going to want to go when it's time to go.
Let me ask you a question, brother. If you were to put a blanket answer on it, like blanketly say, okay, how much of the church, of our people within the church, believe that the people in the Bible were black? What would be your percentage that you would say, even these cats that's up here right now? How much percentage would you say of our people in the church believe that the people in the Bible were black people?
Yeah, that's hard. I would go low, maybe like the low 20s.
Oh, I don't agree with that. Now that's seldomly we're going to disagree live, but I disagree with that because let me tell you something. I've heard even when I was young, hey, Jesus was black. I've heard church people say Jesus was black. It was almost like it never attached to us being the people. It was like, hey, I know Jesus was black. The Bible says it. But it never attached to the things that's actively happening in the earth. Maybe it is 20%, but I've heard enough church people say they believe Jesus was black. I've heard enough of them to say, okay, damn, y'all seem to believe Jesus is black. Why is it not expounding to, okay, what about the people? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you think it's more like 85?
I think that at least 50 to 60% of the church believe that the people of the Bible are black people. I just think that it's a disconnect there regarding the doctrine that they're taught, and they're not saying, okay, it's like if you were to come home, and I don't want to use the example of that, but I think it's a good example. You came home and you were outside your house and you see your wife's car outside and you see another car out there, maybe your best friend. And you're saying, damn. But now, you might not say I'm gonna tie that together with them being in there together. You might say you want to just make yourself docile a little bit. Then you go inside and you see her clothes and his clothes on the floor, and you're saying, damn. Then you hear noises from upstairs. Usually one sign goes to the next sign. This means this, and now that means this, now that means this. Right. It's like when it comes to us saying that the people of the Bible are black, it's like the next step don't come into our mind. Damn, if Jesus was black, then Moses was black. When Moses was black, the people were black. And the people are black, we're not going through the natural progression of signs meaning the next thing.
Right.
Just saying Jesus is black and it's like, okay, now you move on. If Jesus is black, if the people are black, why wouldn't you think that this means that you have an entitlement to the possessions that was given or should have been given to the people?
Right.
We'll start the video back. Did you want to say something?
No, go ahead, bro. Good point.
Giving people the tools they need to actually have these kind of conversations with the personal Hebrew Israelites in their life, not necessarily IUCIC. IUIC, them or whoever, whatever One West tribe, because everybody's like, I don't believe So that's basically what I was trying to say in the video.
Go check out her channel. It's a great channel. She's doing awesome work over there. So goes Miss Titus Jones. Awesome stuff. What do you think, Jane?
I visited 2019. I'm not a member or nothing, but I visited, and they do have some things in place to where they kind of, I think they even got like started a school or something where they're focusing on that. Oh, they got Preston Perry over there now, and they're trying to focus on those kind of things because when you're in the urban community, you're going to come across Hebrew Israelites, Kemet, Black nationalists,
5%ers,
all that. So if you, especially in the location that where they at, right, it's right down the street right now.
And look at the communities that they tied us to. 5%ers, Kemet, any of the other groups that will be considered radical, not necessarily ancestral line, but just another radical group that's opposed to Christian beliefs.
Passed by on the way here, a whole group of the IUIC. These outside, just what I'm saying.
Ready for tomorrow?
So it's like you're going to face that. So I agree. Like you have to be equipped for that. And a lot of people may say the issue is not necessarily the availability of the information; it's people's desire and understanding that they really need that information. I think especially in the Black church, they say love the Lord with your heart, your soul, and your mind. Like we got a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling, a lot of passion, but it's kind of like we forget the mind part. We forget about how essential it is to love the Lord with your mind. And you do that by studying his word and spending intimate time with him and going to prayer and seeking him. Like the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Don't just read to show yourself approved, but study. And I think people have an issue with just dedicating just that intimate time with God to the point where they're learning these things. So when you run across a Hebrew Israelite who is saying the Bible all out of context, but he's totally confident with that.
Yeah.
If you don't know any better, you start thinking like, man, do I really believe in God? I remember like the first time I came across them was probably like 2012, 2013. And they'll call me all kind of names, lost in and and all this stuff. And I was just like, man, I started asking questions. And after that, it kind of just inspired me. Before then, I was kind of into apologetics already, but it really inspired me to want to dig deeper. So now I be looking forward to talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Like not to try to just bash them and belittle them, but in hopes that they will hear the truth of scripture and they will be saved, because that's what it's about. It's not about humiliating people. That's what they tend to do. And your flesh will rise up. Like they call some woman out of shape and all this kind of stuff. Like that was my mama or my sister or something. Like your flesh gonna want to smack somebody. You know what I'm saying? But for real, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be like, okay, this is a lost brother, you know what I'm saying, who don't really understand. So let me try to show love. And then just chalk it up when they don't want to listen. Like it's not your job to reach.
I know they have a vendetta against Black pastors and Black churches specifically, and I just feel like if they do show up, just make sure you're ready, and not just you, but other members. I think a lot of pastors filter down to the congregation. So I agree with you about making sure the congregation is prepared to give an answer for their faith and being able to.
Right, and if you just look at what she said about some of the pastors that have been to seminary school and learn apologetics, these are all replacement theology terms. These are all supersessionalist terms. These are things that you do to try to put how the current stage of religion is. That's what you're.
Yo, brother Lash, are you there? Yeah, I think Brother Lasha just went out. I'm gonna wait for him to come back in. But I hope you brothers and sisters see what we're talking about here. One thing that I do want to say about the camps, because they just been dogging the camps, and that's what this video they're really talking about, right? How brutal the camps are to the women and children coming out, walking out of the church. How brutal the camps are, how brutal and wrong the doctrine of the camps are. And the thing about that, we don't. Yeah, you back, bro. You just fell out for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it was probably your connection. But I just want to say, and I just want to say this real quick. We don't have to agree with everything or anything that camps say. We don't have to agree with anything that they say. The Christian church itself has how many denominations? They have how many different beliefs? How many different doctrines roaming around? How all their church fathers had a different belief. All their church fathers had a different way of looking at and interpreting scripture. They don't believe the same thing. So when they come to these brothers on the street, and one brother, like he said, saying something horrible about your sister, that's wrong. Sister or your mother, that's wrong. Calling them fat and out of shape, that's wrong. What does that have to do with a bloodline? So again, it's this dragging us into being a religion when we are not. The one thing that the camps are teaching out there is the one thing that we all have in common as Israelites. We believe that we are the bloodline children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that is what unites us. And I'm not saying we got to be united, because I'm not one of those people who believe we got to be united
hold on, bro. We do need to be united on, like, we're united that we're African Americans. All we're saying that we need to be united that we're the Hebrew, that we're the Israelites. Go ahead, bro.
No. I was just gonna say, I don't think we need to be united as in coming together. That I just don't believe.
Right. I agree with
right. We don't need to be united to move forward. The Most High is gonna move forward on his timetable. He's not waiting for us to unite. But the one thing that we do have in common across the board is that we believe that we are the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, we have to start off at milk, because our people in the church, we don't need to be talking doctrine with them. We need to be able to be unified in that we know who we are. The same way our people are unified that we're African Americans, considering it was a phrase coined in the 1980s by Jesse Jackson. If you can be unified that this is the term you'll go by, you can be unified that we're the people of the Bible. If it doesn't matter, right, then why deny it? It's not going to change anything either way. You can still be a Christian or a Muslim, and I'm not saying that they should be. I'm saying that if we understand where we come from ancestrally, we understand our ancestral lines, that's no different than you being an African American Christian, African American Muslim, African American Buddhist, African American, any of the number of the Pan-African. The main thing that you would be unified on is that of your nationality. And that's where our major problem is. They have to understand that our first argument, and that has to be established, is that we are the biblical Israelites, that we are of those tribes. We fit them prophecies. And that's one of the main things we're going to go in today, is those prophecies. And it's somewhere in this video where they say that we were mainly reading out of Deuteronomy 28. And that's what made us prompt us to entitle the video More Than Deuteronomy 28. Because even though we have Deuteronomy 28, and the Jewish people don't have no chapter in the Bible. What is these Jewish people, what chapter in the Bible do they have that they go to break down to say that they're the people of the Bible? They don't have no chapter. They don't have no prophecies. But we can go throughout the book to prove who we are. All
right. Before you hit that play, the crazy thing about it is they can do something and claim something straight up outside of scripture. They could say that you are a bloodline Jew because of your mother. Straight up outside of scripture, and everybody just go with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ain't that crazy?
That's got to be one of the biggest.
Exactly.
That how can the mother establish the bloodline of a people? That means that anybody from any nation can lay with her, and that person is now of that tribe. Anybody? I lay with a Jewish woman. Is that woman that child is Jewish because of the mother? Mm-hmm. Chinese man go do it. That's the doctrine of Balaam, which the Mashiach said he hated, because Balaam taught the children of Midian and Moab to entice our people with their women to get a piece of the promise by procreation. That's how they was like, let's let our line go. It was the intent of the Most High to bless Israel. So Balaam does put that device in play, which the Mashiach said he hated in Revelations. But let's continue.
Victory Church, he's always been kind of passionate like that, and he's serious about the word. But when you got somebody going viral online, you start attracting all types of people. You got people who really there because they're really trying to hear the word. You got folks who are gonna be just looking at you like gonna be idolatry going
like
on.
enthralled by your,
you know what I'm saying?
celebrity.
So I think it's a number of things going on, like people coming there for whatever reason. And I think with him, I think he's not the worst teacher I've heard, but I think sometimes when a large amount of people are coming at you like that, and he'll say stuff like, hey, I'm not an idol, like don't idolize me and stuff. But I think anybody, when you got 6,000 people in the building, at some point it's gonna be a little pride that shows up here and there. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of your service, because people are here to hear you speak. And I don't know if anybody that crucified where every Sunday, you know, say you're not going to take some of that in. So that's my concern for him, is that.
You ever notice how that when this brother talks, and I'm like, you got to notice this about teachers. Anytime you got a brother, sister, whoever that's teaching, and their eyes are always looking up, it's not because they're looking for the Most High, or that their eyes is always looking to the left or to the right. It's something to be said about the respect of looking at a person. But you ever notice some of these teachers, for whatever reason, when they're trying to think, they got to look up in the sky. They got to look up. They got to look to the right. They got to take your attention off, their attention off looking at you. And that's not of the Most High when you do that repeatedly. I can understand it happening in certain circumstances. But when you constantly are speaking and all you're doing is rubbing your hands together and looking in different directions like you're disinterested or that something's wrong with you cognitively, that's not right.
He doesn't allow that to get to his head to the point where he begins to lose himself in the midst of what's going on. I know some people around him, but I hope he keeps some good, solid people around him that are really challenging him, because when you're the popular person, people are scared to say something sometimes. They'll let you get away with certain stuff because they want to be around. So I don't know if that's the case, but I hope not.
That's interesting. So did you get backlash for that? Saying what you said?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
She got people like wanting to come see her. So
yeah, but I mean, that's
2819 people?
Actually, you know what?
Bro, if we get a chance, we can come back to the video. You want to get up into the scriptures?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. I thought you wanted to maybe we should have but we didn't.
Want to finish out the video?
No, it's not that. I thought you wanted to play the part where they say they talk about Deuteronomy 28. Say kind of.
I should have time stamped.
Yeah, but that's all right. I think the audience got an understanding that they said it and what they meant by it.
Right, and then there's other videos where I've heard people say we use Deuteronomy 28 as a marker to say that we're the people of the book. But let's get into the scriptures, because there are a multitude of other. And I'm not just saying the scriptures only, but there are actually historical references that we can get into, and it'll be a plethora of things that we can prove. But I want to go to Leviticus chapter 26, brother, and grab up verse 16.
No problem.
And anybody want to reference these verses, mind you, because it goes deeper and more spiritual than what we think regarding some of the things we use to prove that we're the people. Most of the time, we're looking at the things or the physical things, the aesthetic things that happen through slavery. Yokes are on, and these are things that can be used. These are things that are proofs. Being taken on slave ships. All these things are proofs that we're the people. The Israelites being black. But it doesn't stop there. It's a lot of other things that we have that the Most High set upon us that prove that we're the people of the book. If you can just grab up Leviticus 26, I believe, and 16, I believe it is. Let's see.
You want me to read that, bro?
Read that, brother.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning out. That
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. That shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Now, brother, if you don't mind, matter of fact, I'll grab that up where we'll look at the definition or the meaning of the word burning ouch. 1 second. So I got so many windows up. Let me share my screen real quick.
All right, bro. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Let me share. There we go. Hold up. Made me think of that song. Hold up. Wait for the next episode. I don't know why that popped into my mind. I don't even listen to that.
Yeah, we playing that on the Sabbath, man.
Look, I'm not
Give me
playing
our
that. I don't know
intermission.
what made that come into my mind for some reason. But let's look up the words behind the words. You know, Leviticus 26. Tell me if y'all can see the definition.
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, and we'll look at that verse one more time. Most High said, it says, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague. That's how it's pronounced, the burning ague that will consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart, and you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. The Most High said, I will appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague. Which is, I don't know if y'all can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see it, bro.
The Hebrew 69:20, inflammation, that is fibro disease, burning ague, fever. Now we got the inflammation that happens in the skin, which is called a form of leprosy. But looking at the word inflammation itself, looking at the word burning ague, what do these things mean? The Most High said, I'm going to appoint this over you. Now, part of the aspect of the burning ague is a form of malaria. Anybody knows what malaria is? When mosquitoes bite you, and you can get it's an infection or bacterial disease that can cause fever and all these other things within the body. But it also could, but it's really to affect the blood. The ague, or the connection to malaria, is affecting the blood. And I want to grab up this article real quick. 1 second. Let me just grab this up real quick. Grab this other article. 1 second, bro.
Yeah, no problem, bro. I saw the article.
You saw the article?
Yes, one of them. I think you're trying to grab up too. The hard truths about African American.
Yeah. 1 second, I got it because I got so many windows up. Let me just put this up real quick, and we could talk about it. That the Most High has appointed this over us. All right, so now I'm gonna share my screen with this article right here. Here we go. And it's called Plasmodium falciparum, and this is like what's inside the body to cause malaria, and is a form of the ague within Leviticus 26:16. And mind you, instead of us going to Deuteronomy 28, which establishes this, as the Most High said he would do this, it's all over the Bible. Brother, before we read some of this article, just go to Deuteronomy 28, and this is what is connected to Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Deuteronomy 28, grab up verses 28, chapter 28, 59 to 61. Just read that. This is what is conjunction with Leviticus 26. We don't need Deuteronomy 28, but this is the connection that's all over the Bible.
Right, exactly. So Deuteronomy 28, verse 59.
59 to 61.
59
just look at the words.
I'm sorry, say again, bro.
We're just going to concentrate on the words. Go ahead, bro.
Absolutely. Then the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues
wonderful,
and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Now the Most High says they shall cleave unto you. The same thing that we're reading for the Leviticus, the 26th chapter, where it says, I will appoint over you terror consumption and the burning ague, which is inflammation. All this is inflammation based inside the body. Now, of course, all nations get a form of inflammation, but who does it impact the most? When we look at this burning ague, it's called Plasmodium falciparum, which is an etiological agent of Malaria tropica. That's just the connection that it has to the blanket term burning ague. But when we go down, what is one of the polymorphisms of malaria? Now, the Most High is not saying I'm going to appoint over you mosquitoes. Everybody get bit by mosquitoes. But when you go down right here, tell me if you can see me highlighting this, brother.
Yep, I see it.
It says of over 25 polymorphisms, including the sickle cell trait, have been selected in human populations, device severe fitness costs. Just the focus on the part that talks about the sickle cell trait. Now, because of the sickle cell trait, you're actually protected against the blanket form of malaria or the ague, what they would call just the blanket understanding of ague. Because of how the sickle cell trait works in the body, and if you just look at it, sickle cell is talking about how the blood vessel basically bursts and turn into a C-like pattern. It curves into a sickle. Oddly enough, what did the Most High tell us to do? He said, don't go to the right or to the left, but stay on the straight path. So we end up with something called the sickle cell trait that predominantly we are affected the most out of everybody on the earth, particularly in America, with the sickle cell trait, a hereditary disease that's passed down from generation to generation. Anybody ever heard of a generational curse? Anybody remember the fact that who's the only nation on this earth that talk about generational curses? What nation do you hear talking about generational curses other than our people? So when you think about this sickle cell trait, it's an hereditary disease passed down from generation to generation and is a part of that inflammation. Now, what nation suffers the most inflammation? There's something called chronic or degenerative inflammation. And chronic and degenerative inflammation is passed down hereditarily. And guess who makes up the largest population of chronic inflammation? So-called African Americans. And guess what is a symptom or a disease that's passed down hereditarily through chronic inflammation? Let's just go down the list. Matter of fact, I made it real short for us. Sickle cell anemia.
Hey, bro, you mean to be sharing that?
I mean, we can share it. I guess we'll look at the article. And as a matter of fact, we'll bring this article up.
All right.
Let me see. Let me stop sharing this one. And we'll bring up this other article real quick. In this article right here, it's hard truths about African Americans and chronic inflammation. And we'll go down to this part right here. It says studies show that racism, along with a variety of environmental factors, can head to low levels of inflammations or can lead to it. And within this article, it uses other environmental issues that's connected to chronic inflammation. But just to hide the rate of inflammation within Black people, if you could do a Google search to say, are African Americans highly impacted by what you would call this chronic inflammation? And this article right here, which we can send you a link to this article, talks about some of the biggest diseases that is attached to chronic inflammation. So let's look at this part right here. And it says African Americans have a higher mortality rate from conditions related to chronic inflammation. The death rates of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, African Americans are higher than that of whites. In 2018, Blacks were 30% more likely to die from heart disease than whites, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. In that same year, they were twice as likely as whites to die from diabetes. When it comes to stroke, Black people are 70% more likely to die from it than whites overall. every major hereditary genetic disease that we're known for is attributed to something or chronic inflammation within the body. And we're going to just take a quick look at them real quick. Let me share my screen on my Word doc. I just want you to look at some of these things real quick. And these are one of the things the Most High said, I will appoint this over you. I will appoint over you this chronic inflammation. I will appoint over you. It shall plague, it shall be attached to you. Let me grab this up. And we're living it right now. So let me go on and share my screen and just bring up my Word doc real quick. So if you look at sickle cell anemia is one of them. Yes, chronic inflammation is a significant factor in sickle cell anemia, SCA, and also the other one, which is, I believe, is ACD, I believe. Yes, inflammation is a significant contributor to heart disease. Inflammation can contribute to diabetes, particularly type 2. Yes, inflammation for hypertension or high blood pressure is considered a hereditary disease according to the American Heart Association journals. All of these things that plague us, even lupus is on that list, are hereditary diseases passed down from descendant to descendant, and they all have some attachment to chronic inflammation, which the Bible says the Most High would appoint over us when we look at the burning ague, when we just look at the words behind inflammation. The same thing the Most High said in Deuteronomy 28. These things were, well, what did it say? Read that part again in Deuteronomy 28, bro. That we read. He says, it will cleave to you.
You know, you want me to just read 59 and 61 again?
Go ahead and read that again.
And the Most High will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Most High bring unto thee until thou be destroyed.
Until thou be destroyed. These hereditary diseases, that's what makes a difference between us and other people. These are things that are passed down in our people from generation to generation. Read Leviticus 26 and 16 again, bro.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
I will appoint.
Mm-hmm.
I will appoint. I will set this over you. I will appoint over you generation to generation to generation. These things have followed us. I will appoint you over. Go ahead, bro.
Consumption and the burning age, and I'm pronouncing that wrong, I know, that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it.
Because these things are appointed over us, our enemies have taken advantage of it, particularly inside America, where we've been scattered into this captivity while we wait for our restoration. But among the other generational curses, these diseases are part of those things. The Israelites, the Jews, or the tribe of Yehuda, the southern kingdom, should have these things on them. These are not things Jewish people suffer. This is not something that Esau or the white man suffers. This is not something that other nations can say they are the global leader in these things. With us being, and mind you, got to think these statistics or these things that's talking about these particular things that Ellis, it's just talking about us inside America. It's talking about the African American community in America. It's not even specifically pointing out Africa, but the African American community. It's appointed over us. And these things, we might know somebody who has a form or have sickle cell. We might know somebody who has high blood pressure, diabetes. That's almost something that's regular with amongst our community. When they're talking about, hey man, we're African Americans, and that the Bible is showing that the Most High said that these things would be on the Jews. These are things that prove we're the people. What he said, I shall make thy plagues wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
These things are on us No different than, brother, real quick, let's read Genesis. Matter of fact, share your screen. Read Genesis 15, verses 13 to 14. This is another thing that proves that we're the people of the Bible. The 400-year prophecy is a thing. What other nation can say they've been in slavery to another nation for 400 years? Is this not what the Most High said he would do to the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? This is not in Deuteronomy 28. But this prophecy is not on them Jewish people or anybody else. It's on us. Just 13 and 14.
Wait, this is Genesis 15.
Yeah, 15. Start at verse 13. We can read down to 15.
No problem. And he said unto Abram, know for surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance.
What nation has been in captivity for another nation for 400 years? You can go to China and ask a random Chinese person how long black people have been in America. They'll say 400 years. You can almost go anywhere on the earth to say how long have black people or African Americans so-called been in America? Everybody will say 400 years. That's not like a random number and a random people. That's the only a marker that our people fit. Let's go into some of the other verses inside the Bible that connect to us. Let's go to matter of fact, let's go to Isaiah 51 and 20.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second to get there.
Tell me if this is the Jewish people here. Isaiah 51 and 20. We want to talk about markers. When the church was going forth, when the nations was going forth to prove we're the people, who the people were, why these markers wasn't establishing these things, why our brothers and sisters in the Christian church is trying to get us to talk about doctrine instead of answering the question, do you believe that we're the people? Can they answer why these things we fit exclusively? Isaiah 51, I believe it is. 51
and 20. You want me to read up until where?
Yeah, just read 51 and just read verse 20. You got to read all of it.
Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of fury of the Most High, the rebuke of thy Elohim.
What nations of people have their children hanging on the street corners, out there murdering and shooting each other, calling themselves YNs, full of fury, running around with all that gun violence? A lot of it that's on World Star Hip Hop. A lot of that stuff is on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. What other nation young men is on the street corners at the head of the streets? What other nation has TV shows called The Corner, where it's about our people being at the head of the streets on street corners, selling drugs? Movies like Clockers. What other movies we got, brother, where brothers is out there hustling and killing each other?
No, it's too many to name, bro.
Can't even name all of them. What other nation fits this prophecy? Let's go to Nahum chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people, when you read Nahum, you think it's talking about Nineveh per se. But most prophecies in the Bible are a image or a mirror of talking about the nation of talking about Judah and Esau. Go to verse 16. And not only does this attach to what's happening in America, this also attaches to what's happening with our people in America. What is Trump mad about right now? He mad at all the nations coming here making money, and now he want to put tariffs on them. But where did the nations go to make money in America? Where did their business sprout up at? Inside our communities. The Arabs put the gas stations, the Dunkin' Donuts, the Crown Fried Chickens, everything that you see, even the gas stations within the inner city is higher than if you went out to the suburbs. Make that understand. Why would the gas at the gas stations in the inner city, where all the brothers and sisters are, they won't have the money, why would they be more in there and not in the outside communities? Let's read the verse. It says, thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and fly away. Think about that. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants, all these businesses. We talking about the Crown Fried Chicken. We talking about the gas stations. We talking about the Chinese store, the Korean shops, the hair shops. I don't know if y'all seen that thing where the hair shop opened up in Atlanta and they was giving away free weave, and our women were going crazy. Going crazy. It says, thou has multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. Where are these people at? They're in the liquor stores. Look what's sprouting up now in the inner cities. All the marijuana dispensaries, but they're not making none of them laws retroactive to free our brothers and sisters that's locked up because of marijuana when it was so-called illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But the same thing is this. Thou has multiplied thy merchants. All these businesses of the foreign nations, of the stars of heaven, the cankerworm spoil. That means that once these businesses pop up in your community, they take the spoil, they take everything they can get out of the community. Guess what they do? They fly away. They take all their money back to enrich their people over in China, Korea, Africa, wherever they're at. They're going as they enrich their own people. They put their jobs or they put their businesses inside the inner city where our people are. They get rich and they take it back home. That's why you always got different community, like Pan African 5%ers talking about, yeah, they don't contribute nothing to the black community. They don't give back. They don't give nothing back. They come, they suck us dry, and they leave. They do the same thing to America. America sends them to our communities. They get rich, they go home. You tell me why Chinese stores is usually sprouted. When the last time you went to the suburbs and you seen a compound chicken there? When the last time you went to a middle class neighborhood or even a rich neighborhood and you seen a pop-up Chinese store there selling cats and dogs and calling it fried chicken? When the last time you seen that? When the last time you seen the so-called Habib gas stations popped up, like gas stations like 76 and these random names that they have popped up inside so-called wealthy neighborhoods? You haven't seen it. You'll see an Exxon there. You'll see you'll see a Wawa gas station there. They send them right to the inner city, just like the Bible say, that thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spoileth and fly away. That's the connection to Deuteronomy. You shall go to your enemy as one of all things. He would get over thee. He would be the head and you would be the tail. What other nation can say this about themselves, that other nations build businesses within their community, get the money and go back to where they're at? What other nation can say that, Brother Najee?
Yeah, no other nation can say it, man. We've been spoiled.
Two things that we got in the black community is churches and liquor stores. That's like one of the two main things you can find in any black community. A bunch of churches. They make sure that the Christian churches in our neighbors and liquor stores. Let's talk about that. Go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 16. Read verses 24 to 25. Who can dispute that there are a bunch everywhere we go? There's a church within our community. Read 24 to 25.
That thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and has made thee an high place in every street.
Hold up, stop right there. Thou hast built also unto thee an eminent place, and has made thee a high place in every street. Man, that's like a pun to white people. They talk about how we, like black people, got nothing but churches and liquor stores in their community. There's a church on every corner. Who would dispute that in our communities we have churches everywhere? This is not something we just did here. We did this everywhere. Our people are known to having churches on every corner. The Bible talks about, thou hast also built unto thee an eminent place, and has made a high place in every street. Read verse 25.
Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to every one that passed by.
What about the white man? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. You can't. You gotta interrupt right there. What about him? And multiplied thy whoredoms.
Multiplied thy whoredoms. Read that verse again, brother. See if it's sinking.
Mm-hmm. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms.
And multiplied to, thou hast opened thy feet to everyone that passed by. Do Chinese people do that? We in the Hindu temples? Are we in any of the temples or in the religions of the nations? Do they welcome us in like that? What is the first thing our people say when you try to tell them that we're the Israelites? What about who, bro? Read that part again where it says, and has opened thy feet to everyone that passed by.
You want me to read that whole verse again?
Read that again.
All right. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and has made thy beauty to be abhorred, and has opened thy feet to everyone that passed by.
Everyone that passed by. We can't even have one discussion with our people without it starting with, what about the white people? What about the nations? This has always been us. Every prophecy in the book, the volume of the book, the same way our king came in the volume of the book, every prophecy and plague is in the volume of the book on his people. This is our people inside the inner city. Come as you are. Doesn't matter if you're lesbian, gay, don't matter if you come in there as a man dressed as a woman. Come as you are. Everybody come in, every nation, every person. Who else does this? Who else is this on? The Most High knows us better than anybody. He said this would be us. Who else does this? The Jewish people welcome us into their synagogues. When the last time you seen a video online where you seen blacks and other religions inside a Jewish synagogue? Is this an attribute that they carry? When they start talking about Judaism, do you hear them saying, what about the black people? What about the Chinese? Brother Najee, who carries this attribute? Who carries this plague, this curse?
They look a lot like us.
Damn, they're identical.
And and Brother Lasha just went through what was that? At least five different places outside of Deuteronomy, right? Let's go to another one right now.
Okay, matter of fact, go down to verses 33 and 34 in the same chapter. Let's read that real quick.
(33 and 34), right?
Yeah, read 33, 34.
They give gifts to all whores, but thou givest thy gifts to all thy lovers, and hirest them, that they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom. And the contrary is in thee from other women in thy whoredoms. Whereas none followeth thee to commit whoredoms, and in that thou givest a reward, and no reward is given unto thee. Therefore, thou art contrary.
We give away everything and we get nothing. We give away everything and get nothing. We give the gifts. We're the one giving the tithes and the offerings to the church to give to the Jewish people. We say everybody, one come all. Take part in what belong to us, but don't give us nothing. You hear what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Who got this attribute, man?
No doubt. It's all us.
Who's the Most High talking about that these things apply to?
It's all us, bro.
So let's keep going. Let's go to Isaiah 42. Let's read verses 21 to 24.
You said 42?
Yeah, let's go to Isaiah 42. I know we did a lesson about this when we talked about the mass incarceration generation, but we'll still go here again. Who does this apply to?
What verse was that again?
Let's read. Just start off at 21 to 24.
All right, got it. The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
Now, we were going into when he says he would magnify the law. He magnified the law because where it was written on tables of stone, now the law was written in your heart. The Most High was circumcised in the heart. So now you can repent without having to give the blood of bulls and goats and things like that. It says he made it honorable. He allowed us to come to him, and without those sacrifices that was basically like a taxation.
Exactly. And one thing, just real quick, I want people to remember and highlight one thing. The scripture makes it clear that the blood of bulls and goats could never really atone for sins. That was not the purpose. But another thing that people seem to forget is that before HaMashiach, it wasn't just the blood of bulls and goats that was required for your sin. it was your blood. Your blood was required for certain sins. There
Now,
was
that
sins.
depends on what you did, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No. Go ahead, bro. You continue.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
No, I was just saying that depending on what you had done.
Depending on what you had done, that your blood was required. And so we sometimes forget what Hamashiach did for us, where it wasn't just about bringing a sacrifice all the time. It was your blood that was required to atone for that sin. All right.
Now, just to continue on what you were saying, is that what a lot of our brothers and sisters that claim they don't believe in Mashiach they're not factoring in. The only thing that can be forgiven of, say you don't believe in the Mashiach, you would have to go back to the law and say, okay, what laws was I allowed to be forgiven by that were not based off of a punishment of death? Because it was only certain. If you read Leviticus, the 1st chapter up into the 6th chapter, there was actually some laws that you didn't have a sacrifice for. That's where if you go to Numbers 15, it says, "Thou revileth the Most High if you did certain things." If you reviled the Most High and broke His commandment, there was no sacrifice. There was no matter of going to Ezekiel the 18. Was it 15? Was it Ezekiel 18? Is it 15 to 18 where the Most High allows us to just turn away from our wicked deeds? I think it's chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And when we turn from our sins, they had to be things that you can be forgiven for under the law according to sacrifice. I'll give you a prime example. The sacrifices never did take away sin. They were just like a taxation. No different if you go out in your car and you're speeding through a 20-mile-an-hour neighborhood and you go 25. What happens is that the state tax you. They give you $100 speeding ticket. Now, that speeding ticket is supposed to be a punishment for breaking the law, whether you know it or not. Now you know that if you go over 20 miles an hour, you get a speeding. That's what the sacrifices were. They never cleansed sin. They were a taxation of blood so that your blood wasn't required. But if you killed another man, if you killed a woman, if you did certain things that was punishable by death, there was no sacrifice that you can give.
Right.
So now in Mashiach, when Mosiah says, I will magnify my law and make it honorable. Now the murderers of our people, a lot of them sisters out there that had abortions and different things like that went out there and defiled the marriage bed and did all these things in their life that the law would kill you for. You can't go to Ezekiel 18 and talk about, God, Mosiah said, if I turn from my murders, if I turn from my, no, it's talking about if you want to be under the law, there was no forgiveness for that. The law would state that that's your life that goes with that. But under the Mashiach, the murders of our people, the blasphemers of our people can be forgiven for the things that will require death. You want to say something, bro?
No, bro. That was good. When I read this, I'm gonna start off from 21 again. But we got a family member in the chat is asking, what book is this, please?
Which book?
We went through
many.
I'm sorry. No, we went through many books of scripture. So what? I'm not sure what part are you at? Watch and discern. What part are you asking? What? I'm not sure which. We went through many books.
Yeah, we went through Leviticus, verses 26 to 16, Deuteronomy 28 to reference Leviticus 26 to 16, Deuteronomy 28, 59 to 61. We went to Nahum 3.
Oh, okay, we got it. The Watch and Discern said this is verse 21. So on the screen, this is Isaiah.
Oh, Isaiah 42. Sorry about that, brother.
Yeah, no problem. I was just getting to a question. Isaiah 42, verse 21, and I'm gonna read through 24. Okay, I'm gonna start over here. The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith, restore.
Now let's break that down. Now if anybody has never seen the video that we did on mass incarceration generation, and we brought up mass incarceration as it relates to Isaiah 42. there's no dispute on the earth that black people in America make up the highest percentage of the prison population, not just in America, but globally. Our people in prison in America is higher than any number of any other nation globally. We make up the highest in prison. African Americans. I ain't talking about the other tribes of Israel, no matter where they may be. African Americans in America make up the highest global prison population. But this is a people robbed and spoiled, robbed of our heritage, robbed of our land, robbed of everything that belonged to us. Spoiled. That means that everything that we take in, we're giving to another nation. No different than what it says in Deuteronomy 28. No different than what it says in the book of Haggai. Where Haggai talk about you should take in much, but it seemed like it was going in. You got a hole in your pocket. These things, what the scriptures is talking about. What happens when a person is destitute of money? What does he do? He ends up doing something that ends up sending him to prison. They are all of them snared in holes. Reference to prison. They are hid in prison houses. They're hid in the prison industrial complex. There are devices in place to incarcerate us. How do we know that? All you got to do is go to the state or the country's constitution, where it's a provision to incarcerate us.
That's right.
The 13th Amendment. Who else on this earth can say that? Them Jewish people say that? Chinese, anybody who can say that they fulfill a prophecy regarding being hid in prison houses? I asked the church, our brothers and sisters, everything that we relayed today, our brothers and sisters in the church should be able to identify with. I know they know somebody got sickle cell anemia. I know they know somebody got diabetes. I know they see in their own neighborhoods businesses pop up where the foreigners get rich off us and go back to their own community, contribute nothing to us. I know they know somebody that's in prison. You're going to hide these effects that the nations put on us from the Most High? He said these things would happen. Even the fact that even the sickle cell trait causes the blood vessel to turn into a sickle. What did the Mashiach say? Stay on the straight path. A sickle turns to the right and to the left. If you look at it, what is a C? If you look at the C, it has a curvature on the right and the left. That means it's curved to the two directions the Mashiach said don't go. He said don't go either to the left or to the right. Oddly enough, we have a condition within the blood when the sickle cell trait that actually causes the blood vessel to curve on both sides.
Yep.
Maybe that's coincidence. Maybe it don't even mean what I just said. Maybe that's just me thinking. The irony of the thing. You want to say something, brother?
Nah, I'm gonna keep 23.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. 23.
Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
For the time to come. Who will hearken? Who will recognize these signs? Recognize these indicators of who the Israelites are. These things are not just prophecies. They are indicators. Matter of fact, brother, grab up, was it Jeremiah? We read earlier. Grab up Jeremiah 17:4, and then we can grab up, connect that with Psalms. But grab that up. I know you said it earlier.
Yeah. We're in Psalms. Now, before we go there, bro, I want you to hit 24.
Oh, go ahead.
I want you to hit 24. Who gave Jacob for a sport? Because this here is the meat, right? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Most High, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his laws.
Now, go ahead. I know you want to break that down, bro.
Nah. I want you to break that down, but this is the meat right here.
Absolutely. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Now, who's the robber? Who did the Most High give us to? Go back to where we was at earlier in Lamentations chapter 4. Just you remember where Lamentations chapter 4, read down from verse 17. Most High going to tell us who he gave us to.
As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
How long have we been trying to get white people to save us from white people? Just continue to speak for yourself.
Mhm. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
That's very key right there. The Most High says, our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Think about the 400 years. What did the Most High say he would do after the 400 years? But let's continue. It goes with Isaiah 42.
Mm-hmm. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven.
Now, do we just got to read that in Deuteronomy about being swift as the eagle or the eagle? Do we got to just read about it in Obadiah about the eagle? Do we have to go back into the history to see that the Romans had the symbol of the eagle? Do we got to go back to the whole reason that our people revolted before 70 AD is because they tried to set the statue of the eagle up at the temple in Jerusalem? It caused our people to get at them for that.
Mm.
But continue.
Mm-hmm. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Most High, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen.
Now the Most High sent us amongst them. Go ahead, bro.
Mm-hmm. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked.
And Most High says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt be made naked. Isaiah chapter 14, bro, when it comes to who is this? This is the man who caused the nations to tremble.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about Isaiah chapter was it 13 or 14 when it says he will bring those into captivity that put us into captivity? We talk about Revelations, was it 13 and 10? I believe it is. So he who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. This is the patient and faith of the saints.
Mm-hmm.
Who went into captivity? Who did the Most High send us into captivity to when he was speaking in Isaiah chapter 42? He said he brought us in, but who did he use? Continue. Hold up, is that that's not the last verse?
That's the last verse I think we want to hit. There's one more.
This is the main verse right here.
Right. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
Stop right there, bro. The Most High said, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. When we go back to Leviticus, the 26th chapter, the Most High says we need to ask for forgiveness for the iniquity of our fathers. We need to ask for forgiveness for our iniquities and the iniquity of our fathers. You got to remember something. Iniquity is the inward thought of evil. That's the iniquity, where the plan is made to break the commandment, to break the covenant. Most High said he didn't see. If you go to Leviticus, the 26th chapter, we'll read that verse right after this. It's not talking about just us breaking the commandment or the transgressions or the judgments or the laws. It's particularly talking about the inward man. Ask for forgiveness for the inward man, the inner you who conspired these things. He said the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. It was starting in Deuteronomy 28. It was happening in Leviticus 26. And we'll read that right after this. Oh, daughter of Zion, it's accomplished. It's complete. Genesis, the 15th chapter, when the Most High said he would deliver us after 400 years. Continue, bro.
Where was I reading?
The old daughter of Zion.
Oh, all right. There we go. I'll just start that verse again. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
So who got us in captivity?
Mm-hmm.
Go right back to Isaiah 42, when the Most High said he is the one who took us.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say something, bro?
Nah, that's clear, bro.
Just so we can clear that, make sure it's clear. Go to Leviticus 26 real quick, so we can show that the Most High wanted us. That he says, ask for forgiveness or the forgiveness for our iniquities. Go to verse. One about our fathers. Yeah, Leviticus 26:40. Same thing he said is accomplished in Lamentations. Leviticus 26:40.
If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me. And that
stop right there. We'll read the next verse in a second. The Most High says, we shall confess our iniquity and the iniquity of our fathers. Tell me, if it doesn't matter who we are, then how can we confess the iniquity of our iniquity and the iniquity of our fathers? How can we confess it if we don't know? If it don't matter, we got into doctrine with our brothers and sisters in the Christian church. If it doesn't matter who we are, how can we confess the iniquity that we've committed and the iniquity of our fathers? How can we do that? Because you got to remember, the Most High said in Lamentations, thine iniquity be accomplished. So that must mean that we ask for forgiveness with the whole heart, loving the Most High with all our heart, mind, and might. You get what I'm saying, Aki?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that for us to be forgiven, we confess them. That means we know who we were or who we are to confess of it. That means if you go to Genesis 15, this is after we have confessed it and been forgiven for it. Who else is fitting these things? If we just reading out of Deuteronomy 28.
Mm-hmm. And that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and then, and they then accept the punishment for their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land.
Now, what portion do these Jewish people have to prove that these things appertain to them? How is it that the church is not requiring it? Because like the sister said, the church fathers don't have this within their doctrine that the Jewish people should have to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that in there. They don't have to fit these criteria. Well, then how does the coming of the Messiah happen when he says these things have to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Who fits these things?
Mm-hmm.
North Korea, South Korea,
mm-hmm.
China, India. You know, what nation fits these things, and when was their fulfillment? Was the Balfour Declaration is when the Jewish people fulfilled this? Last time I checked, the Jewish people wasn't in slavery nowhere. They wasn't in slavery in Nazi Germany. They wasn't in slavery when they was running around the outskirts of the land during the Ottoman Empire. When did they fulfill these things? Whose captivity are they in right now? Are they in captivity to Edom? Last I checked, they recognize themselves as Edom. Brother, you want to grab up Jeremiah 17? Discontinue from my heritage?
Yeah. I'm gonna start reading from verse 1. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 1. I'm gonna read to 4. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Now, the crazy thing about this is, like, this is kind of the key of what we're talking about today, I think, because we started off with talking about how now the argument is not so much that we are not the Jews, but the argument is a doctrine thing. And so these brothers standing in front of the churches now, these camps that are quote unquote so wrong, they never point at what the word is saying right here about us discontinuing from our heritage and not remembering who we are. And now the Jewish people will tell you what the first thing they come out is, this is age old. We've always had these beliefs. We've always kept them. You're saying that because you don't remember them and you're coming back that this is you. That's one of their reasons. But the scripture tells us outside of Deuteronomy 28, we will discontinue from our heritage that I gave thee, and serve our enemies in the land which you know it not. That's our land. That's this land. That's this land that all those scriptures Brother Elisha just went through outside of Deuteronomy 28 is showing us that we are serving our enemies and we forgot who we are. And this awakening right now, and them brothers standing outside those churches, those camps, screaming at people. Like I said, we don't have to agree with every word that they say. But one thing that we have in common is that we forgot and was discontinued from our heritage, and that we're coming back. This is what belongs to us. We are those people of the book, and we don't need Deuteronomy 28. Although that's some great scripture right there, but we don't need just Deuteronomy 28 to prove who we are.
Bro, it's always a moving of the line. You read out of the international version of the Bible, say all I read is this. You read out of the old King James, they read the new King James. It's always a way to move the line. But going along with what you just read in Jeremiah 17, when it talks about we should discontinue from our heritage, the Jewish people say we always had this. We've been doing this for centuries. Okay, fair enough. If you've never discontinued from our heritage and we have, and you dispute that, let's look at Psalms 83 verses 1 through 4. Because if you've never discontinued from your heritage, but we have, and you're saying we just can't use that, maybe it's because the Bible prophesied that you were part of the reason we discontinue, seeing as though you never have. Read verses 1 through 4.
Yep. Keep not thy silence, O Elohim. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So the Most High says that he would discontinue us from our heritage. The Jewish people says, no, we fought against that and we never lost it. That's what they're saying. We never lost our heritage. So they did battle. This is what they're implying. They did battle to keep their heritage, and the scriptures was not successful in discontinuing them. But Psalms 83 says the reason that a nation wouldn't be discontinued is because you're part of that ruling faction that helped to discontinue or to take away the name of my people. So the reason you haven't been discontinued, you claiming to be us, is because you're part of these crafty councils. You're part of them nations that stole it from us. Or else you wouldn't have knew who you were. You would be able to stand side by side with, say, well, that fits us too. We lost our heritage, now we came back. And if you did lose your heritage, when did you lose it?
Sure.
And when did you gain it back? What history testifies of that? Are you running around calling yourself African Americans? Are your own people fighting against you to be a tribe of people that was made up in the 80s compared to be the people of history, people of renown, the people of antiquity? Are you running around with last names like Harris and Johnson and Jackson and all these things that don't even further your own people? We're a living testimony of these things. Let's check this out, brother. Let's go to Zechariah 11 and 4. Read verses 4 and 5. I know we went into the prison houses. Well, let's look at the type of justice we get. Who makes these claims? Who's been crying about these things since Reconstruction? Who's been crying about it since civil rights? When have Jewish people ever fallen in this category? And this is what we're saying to our brothers and sisters in the Christian church. These things are on you. You've complained about these things. These are all things in the Bible that said that you follow the Israelites. The only question I got to the church, Are we the Israelites? Start over verse 4.
Start at verse 4 and read to
verse 5, just 4 and 5.
All right, gotcha. Thus said the Most High, my Elohim, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Most High, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Their own shepherds pity them not. Let's just look at this. Thus saith the Most High God, feed the flock of the slaughter. Ain't that like a definitive statement about a certain people?
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is putting in the category, feed the flock of the slaughter. Who's the ones of the slaughter? Let's give that. Who are the ones that are of the slaughter, my brother? What does it say next? Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
That right here is the Most High taking everybody out of the argument and focusing who are the ones that are affected this way. Who are the ones that are spoiled? Let's feed the flock of the slaughter. Hundreds of millions of our people died through the transatlantic slave trade. I would call that a mighty big slaughter, the biggest slaughter in human history. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. How many times have we had the George Floyds, Sandra Bland?
Mm-hmm.
How many people, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, everybody that you can imagine amongst our people? How many of our people have our how many unmarked graves is around of our people that died and nobody is there to hold that person accountable, or that person went straight not guilty? Mm-hmm. How many times have our oppressors killed us and beaten us and went into a courtroom and the verdict was not guilty? What other nation is suffering these things actively? I'm not talking about just in antiquity, but it's actively dealing with them now. The Jewish people going through that, or are they the Supreme Court justices on the bench and hold themselves not guilty? And they that sell them, it says they that sell them. Who was sold into captivity? Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Hey man, forgive that person who murdered your son or daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive those people that stole your land, your 40 acres and a mule. What other people is attached to these prophecies? Is this not an indicator on his people and what they will suffer? The Jewish people face these things? Just to go with this, brother, grab up Habakkuk, read verses 2 and 4. Go say 2 to 4. Habakkuk. To go with Zechariah. So we're looking at the whole thing, looking at judicial misjustice. Who's suffering those things? Read verses 2 to 4.
O Most High, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save.
How many times have we said, pray about it, man? Pray the Most High about the things that's happening to us. How long have we been in that position when our sons and daughters are in the courtrooms? How long have we been in that position on all the atrocities we face? Continue.
Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling the violence let me start that over. For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. I'm gonna read that verse again.
Go ahead.
Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention.
You hear those phrases like they're using the race card all the time. You know, every time something happens, they're saying it's the race card. But it says, who does thee to show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? Grief is something that's perpetuated against somebody that's bringing a heavy burden. For spoiling and violence are before me. Who was a nation robbed and spoiled? Who has suffered these violences? And there are they that rise up strife and contention. Read the next verse.
Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth.
It says, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Zechariah says, it says that they, read that again, bro. Read Zechariah 11 and 5 again. to go with what we just read. 11 and 5.
Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them.
Go ahead.
And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Most High, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not.
Their own shepherds, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. It says, the wicked can pass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. How long have we endured these things and complained about these things? Since forever in the courtrooms about long incarceration periods, misjudgments, being accused of things we didn't do. It says the wicked can pass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. How long have we been going through these things in our captivity? This is what a people in captivities has to deal with. Who else can say that they fall, that another nation or that the wicked is compassing them about and giving wrong judgment? Who else is up under another person's magistrate? Who else is being adjudicated by another nation? Who has the rule over people to be able to put them in mass incarceration, to be able to kill them and hold themselves not guilty, to raise up violence and grievances and wrong judgment proceeded, that the judgment that they're given is not fair and not right, not just. We've been complaining and crying about these things for how long? How long, brother?
Too many years to count, bro.
These are all signs on our people that when we go into the Bible, we ain't just going to Deuteronomy 28. We're going into spiritual things that are happening to us actively that nobody else can say is applying to their people. What's one of the main things that happened to us in slavery? Nobody ever says, "Hey, man, that's a curse on black people." Go to Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy. I believe 22. Matter of fact, Deuteronomy 20, and read verses 22 and 23. While you do that, I'm gonna let me cue this video. Matter of fact, read that, and I'll cue this short part of this video.
Deuteronomy 22, verse 23.
No, Deuteronomy 21 goes to verse 22 and 23. Brother's right, Obadiah. You got to match all the curses. One thing about us, say we only matched 100 of them or 20 of them. That's 20 more than any other next nations. Say we only match 10. The Jewish people can't match the 10 that we match. And that's the interesting thing about it, is that our brothers and sisters want to ridicule us and call us a cult, but it's oddly enough, the same standard, they don't even want to go into what proves that makes us the Israelites. They want to complain about, oh, they go to Deuteronomy 28. But why haven't you sent the Jewish people anywhere? Why the Jewish people or these white people don't got to go nowhere in the Bible to prove that there's anybody in there? They don't have to do any burden of proof. But then they have the nerve to say, oh, y'all just read Deuteronomy. What? We're the only ones that can use anything. Go ahead, bro.
Read, start from 22.
We start from verse 20, verse 21.
21.
Hold on. Did I say 22?
Yeah.
Yeah, start from 22 to 23. Yeah.
All right. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree.
Now stop right there real quick. It even says inside the New Testament, I mean, we can put the cross there and all that, or we can read it that way. But it says that it hangeth him on a tree. It said our Mashiach was hung from a tree. It says he was hung from the tree. Continue though.
His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of the Most High, that thy land be not defiled, which the Most High thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance.
The curse of hanging is a curse that's put on our people. Who's known for being hung from a tree? And one of the things that they did in slavery, in the time of slavery, is they, even if you see it now, when you hear random hangings pop up in North Carolina, different places, oh, they found a man hung in the park. It says He who hangs from a tree is a curse to the Most High. What is these things we talk about? Generational curses. What is the book of Deuteronomy called? The curses. It says a man, if he's hung up to the morning, he is accursed. You've seen that all through history, that our people were left hanging as a scare tactic to our people that would see, the slaves that would see the next day, if you seen a person hanging from a tree, they would hang us for days as a scare tactic to our people. What other nation was sat there hung from trees as a sign or as a curse to their people? Matter of fact, let me share this real quick, bro. It's only going to be a short scene, and it's in a movie called The Butler. I don't know if you ever seen that movie. You just watch this small part of. Let me know if you hear it.
Kill any of us at any time.
Now, he just said they can kill any of us at any time. He turned it up. Could you hear it, bro?
Oh yeah, I can hear it. You can start it over and turn it up if you can.
All right, hold on a second. Let's see. We'll just start right there.
Outside, the cotton fields was even worse than I thought it would be. No one would give me a job, a food, or a place to sleep. Any white man could kill any of us at any time and not be punished for it.
Any white man can kill us anytime and not be punished for it. Lamentations, they hunt our steps. We can't go out in our streets. Hold up, let me continue.
The law wasn't on our side.
The law wasn't on our side.
The law was against us.
The law was against us. What did we just read from Habakkuk? What did we read from Zechariah? What did we just read in Deuteronomy 21? How a man is hung to the next day was accursed of his God. Did you see how he walked past? He seen the brothers hanging up right there, left for other people to see when they came out. Every word he said, brother, could you hear what he was saying?
Yeah, we heard it, bro.
Everything we just read lined up with that brother just said in this video. Now, in these videos, nobody want to see another slave movie, but just to show that the spirit behind it. How could the Jewish people attach themselves to this? Why the Christian church, our African-American brothers and sisters, seeing as though they don't want to be Israelites? Why they're not saying, why don't y'all fit these things? When did these things happen to you? That curse of hanging, even the Mashiach fit that curse. But the Mashiach wasn't, because our law didn't allow for you to be hung to the next morning, because it meant that you were cursed of you. We were taken down. As soon as the deed was done, you were taken down. But the heathen, whether he knew it or not, helped us to fulfill those prophecies. Now, and I've always said this. The reason that we fit these prophecies is because the nations won't stop what they're doing to us. All they would have to do is stop making us fit these prophecies by stop doing what they're doing to us. But they can't stop. They don't know that they're the major reason we can attach ourselves to these scriptures, because they won't stop doing what they're doing. They're the reason we fit these scriptures, not the over the Most High, but I'm talking about the actions that they commit against us is why we fit these scriptures. How can you dispute? You can only dispute what you're doing to us, huh? But nobody in the church is saying these things. And we all started off in Christianity. That don't make it look like that we didn't start off in Christianity. But Christianity for us is a form of schoolmaster to bring us back to the Most High. It's the start of a thing, not the ending of it, not the fulfilling of it. It's the start of a thing. We started off in the church. The Most High fulfilled by bringing us back to our heritage. Who else can say that they fit those curses of hangings? Because part of fitting these curses, there has to be an antagonist against you. And the nations that's helping us fulfill these things continue to impact us the way the Bible said they would. We're not doing these things to anybody that they can say they fulfill these scriptures by our hand or anybody else. But the church don't want to talk about this. How are we talking about doctrine with Christians without establishing, do you believe we're the people? Because that's where it needs to start at. You need to start there. We shouldn't even be talking about doctrine. We shouldn't even allow them to get any further than establishing who are the people of the Bible. Was Jesus black? Make them draw a line there before we proceed. Because if you get to doctrine is like talking doctrine to a baby that's still suckling from the milk. How are you talking? What did the Most High say? Who am I to teach doctrine? Ones who are weaned from the milk?
Mm-hmm.
We got to get to that point for them. There's one weaned from the milk. But the point is this. We shouldn't even be getting that far until we establish, okay, are we the people? Because if we're the people, okay, then what comes with that? It's not just a blanket or a prideful thing to say. What would come with if we are the people? What did the Jewish people inherit? Billions of dollars in foreign aid, land, military might, social equality, independence, sovereignty. And they're acquired these things based off of being us. If the Christian church is so money hungry about getting tithes that don't belong to them and donations from the people, why aren't they hungry for what really belongs to them that's millions of times more? Why aren't you hungry for what the Most High promised you? You're so worried about tithes and offerings and goodwill offerings. Wouldn't it be much more if we were restored to our land, name, and title? Wouldn't we get 10 times with the Jewish people? At least get with the Jewish people again? But you rather somebody give you a donation? You rather somebody give you a tithe that's not really for you to take? Go ahead, bro. I know you want to say something.
No, I was just gonna say, and if we look at it all, everything that you were just talking about, and we can get to that discussion, that conversation with our people instead of a conversation about doctrine. What is the quote unquote race of Hamashiach? What did he look like? What bloodline was he born into? And are we of that bloodline? And why are you accepting a people who aren't even arguing about Hamashiach simply because they don't believe in Hamashiach? They don't believe that Hamashiach is the Messiah. And so what you're giving to them is you're actually giving them and handing them over our heritage. Let's go to, let's just go to, let me just share. Can you see that?
No, I can't see anything yet.
Okay, so that's what I do. Let me stop sharing. let me go back real quick. Just want try to look at this. Now everybody's aware of Revelation 12, right? We're talking about the great wonder. We see the beast come. He's going to try to devour Hamashiach when he's born. Hamashiach is taken up to heaven. But I just want to take y'all real quick to the end. All right. Marie 15 through 17. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. Now everybody knows that we are the woman, right? This is talking about Israel. That he might cause her to be carried away by the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened up her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Now here's the key that I want everybody to see and hear. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and and have the testimony of Hamashiach. They can't even claim what Christians claim they believe the most. The testimony of Hamashiach. The Jewish people can't even claim the testimony of Hamashiach, which the Christian will tell you this is what they're totally based on. So we want to drag in, we want to say that they are the people. We want to drag them in, say that they're quote unquote drafted in. What about those people? But scripture straight up is telling you that they're not the people. They don't believe in Hamashiach. And this is key right here. So we're going to continue to argue doctrine with our own people. You don't believe this, you don't believe that. You stand on the corner, you're with the camps and you're screaming and calling this woman a fat woman and threatening the kids and all. They don't even believe in Hamashiach, which is the basis of your Christian religion.
Absolutely.
How do we even get past that? This is not doctrine. This is not doctrine. There's no Christian on the planet that's going to argue this scripture that says that this means the Most High, the Father, and this means Hamashiach, the Son. Even if they believe in the Trinity, right? We don't want to even talk about doctrine right now, but even if they believe in the Trinity, nobody's going to buck up against this scripture. So what does that mean? What does the testimony of Hamashiach mean? And what does it mean to our people who are in Christianity, who now want to argue with us about doctrine? So this is all we're saying. This is all we're saying. What we have in common is that we believe that quote unquote black people are the bloodline descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And before we argue with anybody else, even ourselves, but anybody else, any other nation, that is what we need to agree on. And let's take it from there. See what I'm saying, bro?
Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100% that we need to be saying that if we're not the people, if we fit all these prophecies, then who is that? If these Jewish people fit these things, where is it that they fit these prophecies? Because arguing doctrine is a luxury of people who at least have some common ground. Let's first establish if we're the people. That way, the argument can go from there. Because this is the thing. We already have disagreements amongst Israelite communities. So it's not a matter of us believing the same thing. All we're doing is adding Christians to the fray. We're adding the church to the fray of things that they don't agree with in the Bible. No different if we had a disagreement with IUIC, GOCC, IUSPK, House of Israel, whoever. Amongst Israelites, we have certain doctrinal disagreements. But we agree that we're the people. So we're unified, unilaterally on that, we're the people. Now we look at Christians, all we're doing is giving them the benefit of the doubt of being Israelites by arguing with them about doctrine like they're people that agree that we're the people. You get what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah, no doubt.
We need to establish with them, hey, man, the reason we're out here is to wake you up that we're the people. You want to argue doctrine, well, let's do that next. We can do that after we both understand that we fit the prophecies of the book. And if we fit the prophecies of the book, then we fit the expectation of what we expect from those prophecies. But that's the problem that we're having. We need to stay locked in on that. Then we go into the Mashiach because they understand it through a mind of a Gentile. They're still talking about Martin Luther being a church father. They're still talking about these things applying themselves to the heathen. So unless we can come to an understanding on what it is we're saying at the grassroots, are we the people or not the people? We need not be getting into another subject. We could do that with other Israelites if we want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We need to establish that first, because there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. Why don't these Jewish people, why aren't they able? You believe this. If those Jewish people can attach themselves to Deuteronomy 28 as a validation, they would love to go out and be able to use Deuteronomy 28 against us. They would love to go out and be able to use Leviticus 26 against us, Isaiah against us. If them Jewish people had the ability to use these verses that we use that prove that we're the people, based off the Most High Bashem Yeshai and the Ruach HaKodesh, they would do it. It would be hands down, they would use all those verses we use. No doubt. Just like, bro, I know we talked about this, how they say, well, Deuteronomy 28 says that no man shall buy you.
Right.
So that can't be you not understanding. Matter of fact, grab that up, bro, so we can clear that up real quick. Go to Leviticus chapter 25. What is it talking about when it says no man shall buy you? Because I've heard them use that to say, yeah, man, it says no man shall buy you. So it's definitely not talking about you guys, because y'all guys were bought. Yeah, go to let's see.
Leviticus 25.
Go to Leviticus 25, and matter of fact, read verses 47 to 49. This is what it means by no man shall buy you.
47 to 49, correct?
Oh, say that again, brother.
47 to 49.
47 to 49. Read that.
All right. And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwelleth by him wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, he may redeem himself.
Now, if you was to go down and fit it give you the means by which you can redeem them according to the Jubilee and the Jubilee years. Right. But this is what it was talking about when it says, no man shall buy you, because your family always had the ability to redeem you out of slavery. If you go back into any history in slavery, what did men do to get themselves out of slavery? They bought themselves out of slavery. But at the beginning of slavery, you had no ability to buy you out because your brothers and sisters was already in slavery too. They had no ability to redeem you. So when they read, they're like, oh man, this ain't talking about them. It's talking about you should be bought, and black people were bought. I've seen white people make that point. I've seen brothers just say that point. I'm like, yo, because you don't know the law. You got certain factions within the Christian community don't even believe we're supposed to read the Old Testament. They got New Testament Bibles totally omitting the Old Testament. How would they understand what it means in Deuteronomy 28 if you have no understanding of the law?
It's impossible to understand that scripture without having an understanding of the law. Lost in translation is all I can say.
Absolutely. So our people are more than just Deuteronomy 28. And when we're talking to our people of the church, we're not talking about core Christian beliefs to bring in a argument about who believe. There you go, cry aloud. We're not talking about what you believe regarding that means salvation, regarding virgin births and all those things. Do you believe and understand that we're the people? Do you believe when you say Hebrew Israelite and you're talking about yourself, is you're talking about yourself in the same context as if you would say, yeah, man, the African Americans. People are gonna look at you like, damn, you're African American. How do you think we see you? What do you think the brothers are relaying? The brothers out there, whether you don't have to worry about whether you disagree with doctrine or not. You have to be worried about whether you hear what they're trying to relay to you. Their message is predicated and starting at getting you to understand that you are the people of the book. That's what they're really saying to you. But yet you're jumping over to doctrinal disputes and you're basing it off of hermeneutics. You're basing it off of apologists. You're basing it off of seminary understanding. You're basing it off of church fathers that were Caucasian. Some of them Buddhists, man. You're basing it off of that. When if you just lock in and understand, okay, we are the people. What does that mean then? Like, you ever seen a movie called Mr. Deeds?
No.
With the boy Adam Sandler. Well, anyway, he found out that he was related to this rich dude that left a lot of money. You ever seen the movie with Richard Pryor then? Brewster's Millions. Love that movie.
Right.
Remember how he was supposed a distant relative of that white dude, Grant, and he found him so he can see if he can inherit that money.
Mm-hmm.
And he went through that whole test. So the point is this: reason we're saying what we're saying is because there is something that comes with that. It's something that's owed to you. You being who you really are. You understand what I'm saying? You have to know that this is your inheritance to claim it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, and you're the only one on this earth that fits those signs, those indicators. You're the only one who fits it. And it's like the brother just said, who, right here, or the sister, I'm sorry, sister. It says, if it's not us, then who? That's what the Christian church has to ask themselves. Why are you saying that Jesus was in a glorified body in Revelation chapter 1. Are you that deceived? So I guess he was white in his regular time, but he said it'd be better and fashionable to come back as black when he's glorified.
Mm-hmm.
Make me understand how that can even be an argument. Oh, that's him when he's glorified. So let me get this straight. He came back glorified with woolly hair and feet like burns best burnt in the furnace. This makes sense how. This makes sense how. Make me understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about discernment. You can't use the word discernment if you're easily dissuaded on something like that. Why would Jesus come back in black? Now, this is how what they did with the ancient Egyptian walls. Same trick, different story. On the ancient Egyptian pyramids and on the walls, what did they say? The Egyptians depicted themselves as their enemies. This was their explanation of why they say the Egyptians will appear black on the tomb wall. Oh yeah, the Egyptians had a thing where they had depicted themselves as their enemies. That's how easy it is. Why don't I take a piece of notebook paper and go in the bank and tell them it's a check? If it's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Why not do what Clark Kent do? Take his glasses, put them on, and they can't tell the difference between Superman and Clark Kent. These deceptions against us to try to get us off what is inherently ours, they don't want us to be able to repent to the Most High. They know we can't if we're running around talking about the Hebrew Israelites. There's a Hebrew Israelite problem in the church.
Mm.
Yeah, we are a problem for the lying church. We are a problem. The same way that Jewish woman said, she said the biggest enemy to Jewish people, what she say is young black men. Why would she say that?
Mm-hmm.
We are an enemy to the current lie that's being perpetuated. I don't know if you want to say something, bro.
No. You covered it all. One thing that I said close to the beginning, I was talking about, how when Moses led the children of Israel out of Goshen, out of Egypt, that they didn't have a choice, that they left because they were pushed out and they were not given a choice. And we see when he went up to that mountain, that one of the first things they did, it was like, oh, he ain't coming back. And they turned back to idol worship. Building the golden calf.
On live, doing, teaching.
Hey, bro, go on mute.
Oh, sorry about that. Goodness, I thought
no, that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry about that, people.
No, that's all right. One thing they did, and one thing they did immediately, was they went right back to the practices that they knew. Building the golden calf and worshiping the golden calf. That was what they knew. So the people they had no idea of what they had just seen about them being rescued from Egypt. They probably weren't even taking it that way. They probably weren't even looking at the fact that they had just been rescued from their captivity. And that's one thing I think we got to remember. Just as we are lost and coming into who we are, they were lost and had to come into who they were. And the thing that we have that's more spent, we have the covering of Hamashiach, right? When Moses came down that mountain, those who did not follow, did not believe, and was going to go their own way, Moses made that separation. And what happened to them? They were destroyed. Eventually, after the 40 years of wandering, before they came into the land, all of them died off. This was all their children. So one of the points I think we're trying to stress here is that as we try to wake up our people, specifically in the, this is what we started with, specifically in the Christian religion, and wake them up to who they are, one of the things we have to remember is, what is the argument? We're trying to tell you who you are. Secondary, you want to argue about the virgin birth and whether the law is you want to argue about all that stuff, argue about that later. Know that you are the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are the people of the Most High. That's what we all agree on. Let's start there. Because if you don't start there, You're going to be in a lot of trouble going forward. You're going to separate yourself from a bloodline. Give your bloodline back over to Esau, because why? You want everybody to have your bloodline. You want spiritual Israel to come into effect. And that's what we're trying to say, y'all. That's all we're trying to say here. Outside of Deuteronomy 28, things can be proven over and over again. The biggest lie is that you are not who the scriptures say you are. That is the biggest lie, keeping us away from each other and keeping us from moving to this next phase and getting out of our captivities and coming into the wilderness and preparing ourselves for what the Most High has for us in the future.
And it's about taking the blinders off the eyes. It's about taking the shield off the eyes. If you can acknowledge that we're the people, we can proceed forth to something else. We shouldn't be proceeding until you understand that. Because some Christians will say, oh, no, well, it's a spiritual Israel now. Okay, if it's a spiritual Israel, then there still is a literal Israel. What's wrong with you understanding that there's a literal Israel? Because it takes the blinders off a whole lot of subjects if you can come to that understanding. But you got to get them there. You got to see, it's not moved. If you're in any debate, you cannot move to the next point unless the previous point was established. How you end up at virgin birth when you're talking about who we are? Hey, brother and sister, hey, man, you know that you're the Israelites of the Bible. Well, do you believe the virgin birth? That's two different questions. That's two different understandings. What does who we are have to do with what I believe regarding a doctrine? Or who we are is not a doctrine. What they've done is they've successfully made who we are a doctrine, the Hebrew Israelites. So this is how we need to proceed with our people. Let's establish, are we the people? Then we can go to the importance of it. Because right now, we don't even understand the importance, but at the same time, giving riches and spoils and benefits to those who pretend to be us. If somebody was to come home and see another person in their house, how long would it be before they forget, hey, man, that's my house, and just move on to the next thing? Hey, man, we all need somewhere to live. Who would be saying, would the person whose house got accommodated or taken be saying, hey, man, we all need somewhere to live while he lives homeless and somebody lives in his house? So that's what we're allowing now. The church is using our own people against us, our own people. And I would say it's motivated by not wanting to change, but also the fact that they're not letting us single in on that point. Let's establish that point and not move nowhere else until we establish that. Because once you establish a point, you just don't go to a totally unrelated point. You go to the next point in succession to that. And that's how you start pulling the scales off the eyes of the people. It's about legitimacy. That's what it's about. Who's the legitimate heirs to the throne? Who's the legitimate heirs to the kingdom of Mashiach? Who's the legitimate heirs of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Who are the Most High's people? Who's the legitimate claimants of that? Who's the legitimate claims to the land? Because if we're the legitimate claims to the land, that means the land is ours. Religion aside. And I think our people, just like it says in Isaiah 3, said, I don't want to be a ruler over this ruin. Remember in Isaiah 3? It said, I don't want to rule this people. I don't want to be a ruler over this ruin. But that's what we're living at now. We got people want to rule over this ruin. We're ruled over a ruin because we're in a foreign land trying to grab any pieces of real estate we can get, just like brothers on the street corners. This my corner. Then when white man pull up, we all run away. It's like roaches when the lights hit on.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah. That's word, bro. That's word. I think we made our point clear, bro. What do you think?
The point is clear. I don't know if anybody want to say anything. I know we don't show up all the time. But I know we need to show up more. It's something else that we've come together all the time. We just haven't been going live with a lot of the segments that we go into. But it is another segment that we're going to go into maybe next week, most high will it, or we'll see what happens with that. But if anybody want to come up, I know we haven't done that in a while, Brother Najee, and speak to the points that was made, or just whatever is happening in the earth, throw it out there if that's what you want to do, or we'll shut it down.
You remember how to? I was just gonna say, Yo, you remember how the shit? Oh, I remember.
It says there are different ways for us to identify as the people of the book, other than identifying with the term Hebrew Israelite. I mean, you could just say Israelite. You could just say the tribe of Judah. I mean, you can say the notion that attaches us to being the historical Jews of antiquity. You know, I know that Hebrew Israelite has a bad term now, you know, but it's funny. People have an issue with Hebrew Israelite. Nobody has a problem with Jewish, which is a word that just means kind of something. It's interesting that nobody has a problem with the people calling themselves kind of a thing. I'm Jewish. I'm kind of a Jew. Nobody has a problem with that. But the black eye is the one that has the historical context. Hebrew Israelite or Abre Yasharel. So yeah, man, we could say we're the Jews. We could say we're the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Yahada. We're the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, you go in the book of Isaiah, I believe, chapter 45 or 44. It says one shall call himself Jacob and surname himself Israel. All those things, you know, so that we can identify ourselves as. But Hebrew Israelites should not have a bad connotation to it. It's become that way because the context is that we're just some religious fascist cultists. So now nobody, oh no, it's them dudes again. The religious fascist cultists, you know, nationalistic dudes, you know, the racist guys. It's interesting that we're racist because we don't want somebody else moonlighting as us while we sit in a land enslaved. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I like this comment too that Kahalia just put up. People prefer the imitation over the real deal. It reminds me of that scripture. I can't remember. I just remember the end of it. And my people love to have it. So you know what I'm talking about, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was the brother. The watching discern says, "Shall these dry bones live?" And that's the point of trying to get our people to recognize who we are. Those living bones is those people who are coming back to their heritage, the ones ready to confess their iniquities and iniquities of their fathers. That's part of those dry bones coming to life. How you gonna come to Mashiach? You don't even know he's come for you. You got a nation he didn't come for, talking about he came for them. Exactly. The people he came for talking about, nah, man, we cool in this religion. You know, when he says, I've come not but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. It's funny how the heathen can come along and teach you against words that happen verbatim. Like, think about that. What did the Most High say in Jeremiah chapter 7, verses 22 and 23? He says, I spoke to your fathers not to burn offerings and sacrifices, but what I did say is obey my voice. You shall meet my people and I'll be your God. He said, obey my voice. It's interesting to say, like when you go to the end of, I think, was it the end of Exodus chapter 20, when he says, I want to see if my people will obey me or not. I want to see if they'll serve me.
Right.
That the answer that we have proven is no.
Right.
Most High said, I'm going to see if they'll listen to me and hearken to me. And the answer is no. What the Most High say can be distorted and polluted so easily. So easily. It's not even hard. It says that their neck is like sinew. Most High say a thing, some cat can come along and just be like, this is what, and it's just that easy.
Right.
And then you have somebody having to reteach you words that were plain. I can understand the dark sayings, right? I can understand the parables being something that need to be taught to you. But the words, when he says, I am have sent me, when you go to the people, I am have sent me unto you, that's what you tell the people. And then it's easy for the people right in the next verse to say, oh, well, he said something else here. Just that easy, just that quick.
Yep.
It's not even hard. I guarantee you this, we can change the whole topic of what we're saying right now and go into a subject and distort the scriptures, and I guarantee you, people will let us teach over what it says to something it don't even say. Because long as it sound good, long as it's sugar inside your coffee, you can be switched over with a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
It's that easy. Long as it's easier. Long as we tell the sister, go wear the hoop earrings, wear as much makeup as you want, wear the fake eyebrows, wear the fake hair. Tell the brothers, hey man, it ain't nothing wrong with having premarital sex, running around messing with other people's wives. If we did a doctrine where we allow you to do that, we can make it make sense if we wanted to. And people would rather believe that. You know why? Because it's not the word of the Most High they're fighting against. They're actually they want to be encouraged to be able to do what they want to do and still be saved in the process.
That's right.
Just encourage me to do my evil. We don't want no truth. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Don't you know the prophets were scared to tell us the truth at times because we were going to kill them? The prophets were scared to say certain things to us because they knew that we would kill them. What was the prophet where I think Ahab hit the prophet because he prophesied evil?
That's right.
But he came to him to get the word of the Most High. As soon as he told him, he's like, yo, he had the people go upside his head.
Yep.
What the hell is you doing here? I'm just saying that this is our people. Our people like degenerate type stuff, man. We like fornicating. We like running around with other people's wives. We like smoking weed, drinking to the full. We love that stuff. We love it. We have taught them our ways, man. They know how to attack us. Put the marijuana dispensary inside the black neighborhood, even though we won't make the laws retroactive to free the people that we locked up for life, calling it a narcotic. Hey, man, I know we had during Prohibition where you wasn't allowed to have alcohol, but yo, we'll put most of the liquor stores inside the black neighborhood. Oh, we'll lock them up in a move for mass incarceration, even though the CIA is known to have put the guns and the drugs in the inner city. Oh, we know that cocaine, the raw powder form, makes crack, but what we'll do is we'll highly criminalize the cooked up form and the raw form because white people snort it. We'll make it decriminalized. And our people eat it up. We have nothing that means nothing to us. That's why our people easily say to us, well, what does that matter? How do you take the Most High's word and say one word is more important than the other? Mashiach said the weightier matters of the law. But that's not for us to do. Our purpose is to do what we're told. And when we're saying do everything he said, not to do one and leave the other undone. So it says in the Exodus, when the people were burning the calf, it was stated that the people were prone to evil. Well, it's a part inside the book of 2nd Ezra, and in his verse it says, the Most High want that which is precious on the earth. He wants the gold. He's taking the elect of the earth, not what our people are prone to do, not our people that's being stiff-necked. He's taking the ones that will serve him, the ones who's going to hearken. Of course, our people are prone to do evil, just like most people on the earth. But the Most High wants that which is precious. Like when we say we're the elect, what do you think? What do we think that means to be the elect? You got to think that you fought a major battle just getting to this earth. What did they say, brother, is millions and millions and millions of sperm cells and only one fertilizes the egg that come into this world?
That's right.
If I told you that you can win $10 million, but 10 million other people are going to join that competition, you won't even join thinking about the 10 million, but you won that battle already just being on the earth.
Right.
The Most High wants that which is precious that's going to win out of the hundreds of millions of people, the billions of people. You've already succeeded in that just being born. When that one sperm cell made it to come into this world, you fought the invisible, insurmountable odds. Now that's the odds we face here. You have to be that which is precious. That means every device against it, you have to win. There is no maybe, possible, I might. No, you better win it. This is not a fight you want to lose. Because it'll come a time in 1 billion years that you will not be remembered and your screams will not be heard. So when you think about, okay, man, I can't do this, man, what's something in the law I can't do? I guess hell is better. You sit back and you ask anybody a question, what is it that you think is in the commandments that you can't do? Now put that against going to the lake of fire or get the judgment of the Most High in whatever forms they come. Tell me what person gonna say, you know what? I'd rather go that other place. But that's what's on the line every day. And our brothers and sisters in Christianity, that's like, hey, man, yeah, we got a Hebrew Israelite problem. It sounds ridiculous, man, if you just put it in the context, what if they say it's an African American problem?
Yeah. Right.
See what I'm saying? And that's the part we have to get to.
Yeah, I think part of it. I'll just Brother Tim. I just put his statement up here right now. For me, I mean, the title is what the title is. I will say this: it doesn't matter what we call ourselves. Whatever we call ourselves will be bad. It will be. It will go down as the way the N word goes down. You know, it will. It will be. It will be a plague on us. It will be a bad word. Whatever we call ourselves, we could call ourselves black people for Hamashiach, like whatever we call ourselves is gonna be bad. You know, they've taken the term Hebrew Israelite and they put the black in front of it. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're Israelites. That's what we know. We could even remove the Hebrew. We're Israelites, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, even with when we did the video on the name, we was like, you know, if you go historically, the word Jew would actually be Yada, or in the English, it would just mean Jada. If you ever heard a person named Jada, you want to call yourself the English version of Yada, which is Jada. Say, yeah, we're the tribe of Jada. We're the tribe of Yahada or Yada, which meant praise. This would be the word of antiquity of our tribe. But it, like the brother said, it won't matter what you call us. When the Most High see us, he sees the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who he sees. And it's I remember Brother Banya said something to me when he was living in Egypt. It wasn't when he was living in Egypt. When he came back, he told me that the people in Egypt used to call them, when they were out there, Ban Yaakov, sons of Jacob. Even it was like Ban Israel, sons of Israel. Brother, ain't nothing wrong with being called Ban Yaakov. There's nothing wrong with being called Ban Israel or sons of Israel, because that's who we are. We are the sons of Israel in the flesh, but we are the sons of the Almighty God in the spirit, which is led by our King Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world calls Jesus Christ. I mean, you can change the name. It's not going to change the mind of the people. The people have to understand that they should not be talking about themselves outside their own nation, saying stuff like, yeah, man, we had a Hebrew Israelite problem or the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, and they got to understand they're talking about themselves. The people who want to take your inheritance, they don't have a problem with you calling them Israel. You think the Jewish people have a problem with you calling them Hebrew Israelites or Israelites or Jews? They don't have a problem with it while they're masquerading as you. You don't hear them online complaining about being called the people of the book. Our people give it a bad name because the people who oppress us taught us that. Because we can't imagine a world without them.
Exactly. I would like to ask some questions dealing with the morality of the Bible. Anyone try and take it up? And then the brother said, why did the Israelites kill the Canaanites and take the name of their God? Okay, so what I'm gonna say to you, brother Duran Beckford, I don't know if this is your first time coming to Salt of the Earth, but I will implore you to go through our catalog. We got a video called The Name, and I suggest you watch that video. The video is really in depth. What is it, about 2.5 hours? Yeah, go through that video, bro. And I'm not disregarding your question here. We'll answer any question, but go through that video. And if you have any questions for us after you watch that video, we'll be happy to answer it.
Now, I'm going to answer a portion of his question real quick, brother, if you don't mind.
Yeah. All right, bro.
All right. So I know that the first question he has, matter of fact, we'll deal with the one we got it right now. Why did the Israelites kill the Canaanites and take the name of their gods? Well, that's not just that the Israelites took the name of the gods of the Canaanites or the Romans or the Greeks. Nations always took the names of other countries' gods. We had our own God. Why did we kill the Canaanites? Number one and foremost, the ruler of heaven and earth gave that land to us as an inheritance. If you go into the book of Jubilees, when the sons of Noah was given an inheritance, Japheth was given Asia, We were given the land of Palestine, or what was known as the Canaanite, what the Canaanites took, and Ham was given what would you call the southern portion of Africa. When they were going to their inheritances, Canaan went into the land that belonged to Shem. It tells you this in the book of Jubilees. He went into the land that he knew wasn't his, and his brothers warned him about, hey man, that's reserved to Shem. You're not supposed to go into the everlasting covenant the Most High made with Noah. He gave us all our portion. Do not go into the land that belongs to Shem. Canaan went in there anyway. So even though the Bible talks about the Canaanites' lands because they lived there, in actuality, it was not theirs. It was reserved for the descendants of Shem. So when the Most High sent us in there, is because Canaan had violated. He had already violated by moving into a land that wasn't his. So it was just no different if you came home to your house and another nation was living in your house with the kids and the wife. Let's do it better than that. Let's do it if your nation of people came home one day. Y'all all went out to work with your kids and wives, came home, and a whole nother nation was in your house with their kids, and they refused to leave, similar to what those Jewish people did to the Palestinians back in 1948 when they stole the houses from them. Will it ever get to a point where war would be started to take back your land? Would you let a man come and take your car and not try to get it back? At any point, can a man come to your home and take what belonged to you, and then his life not be required of him if he don't want to restore it? See, on the simplistic level, we can understand this. I ain't gonna let nobody come take my house, but we don't understand it in the land that belongs to us. That should be the greater acquisition and greater to be fought for. You want to say something, brother?
Nah. Yeah, I think you just gave like a little short synopsis of the name video, and I really want this brother Duran to go listen to that name video.
Okay.
Because even I will say this, Brother Lasha was kind of me, Brother Lasha, and Brother Bonnier did the video. Brother Lasha was it was his baby, and I myself, and I learned a lot from that video, and even the preparation for the video, going through the scriptures beforehand with Brother Lasha. I learned a ton about the name of the Most High. So Brother Duran, again, I really implore you, go through our catalog and watch that video. It is solid.
And I know that you asked the same question that I answered. I'm just highlighted again, says when the Canaanites got that land, there was no one there, no one. When the Canaanites took the land, they were already warned by their own brothers that they were not to go into that land.
Right.
So the Canaanites stole that land.
Right.
See, it doesn't matter if anybody was there. When you go to work and somebody come into your house, could they say, well, nobody was here when I got here? Going Beckford, answer that question for me. If you leave to go to work, if you came home and the foreman is in your house, could they say to you, when I got here, nobody was here? Because I know your response, you got to go through the process of saying that it sounds crazy if I say it's cool that somebody is there when I get there. I know that's what you're thinking to yourself. Then how can I answer this and avoid the fact that I wouldn't let nobody be in my house when I get home? So I'm gonna do you one better. No, you can't do it. The person who owns that house is gonna want their house, and if it requires life will be taken. And nobody, no court or magistrate would say that they were wrong for doing it. If they're see, I'm about to end it with this, brother, because you keep going at it. It says, if their gods were so evil, why take the name of their gods? People can do what they want. They're foolish people everywhere. Some of our people took the name of their gods. Some of our people took their women. You got to be there. You got there where we might. And you didn't answer my question, brother. That's one thing we don't do. If I ask you a question we ask you a question, you answer that question, you just jump to the next thing. Is it so cool for somebody to come to your house and say that you wasn't there and acquire your home? See, now you're getting into the morality of a thing to say, hey, man, they were wrong because they took their gods. No, not all of our people took their gods. Some of our people did. No different than our people do it here. Some of our people are inside the Buddhist religion. Some of our people are inside the Hindu religion. Does that have anything to do with us that cleave to the Most High? No. Is that like a smite on the ones who believe and the ones who do not? So, brother, I asked you a question regarding, would you let somebody come into you? Look, I tell you what, I'm just done with it because I asked you already. All right.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. It's because the questions come up, and
Just check out the video, brother. I don't
Yeah.
want to keep going. We're not adverse to you, brother. I know you just answering the question, so please
Yeah.
don't take nothing I'm saying as disrespect.
Yeah, Brother Durant, if you please go and watch that video, man. Trust me, you have any questions for us, hit us up. But that video is solid. So watch the video. If you have any questions, bro, hit us up.
Right, because we're talking about a moral thing. It's like the people are in our land right now. Would you fight for your own land? We talk about genocide. They have the choice to go back to their own land. If we were in a situation right now where our people were sovereign and go back to our own land, but people had to die, that's always a war and acquisition. If you steal somebody's borders, you can expect war. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand the question, because nobody's truly humanitarian where they say they don't believe in no circumstances of loss of life. Because there is a time to war, there's a time to kill. The thing is that you're taking a narrative and saying, oh man, they committed genocide. Well, there's genocides that you agree with all the time when it comes to people taking and acquiring land, acquiring inheritances, things that are stolen from them. That's why I don't understand that position to say that they committed genocide. Is that the only genocide that was committed on earth? On land that they had stole, that they could have left and went back to their own homeland? Should our people have said, hey, just stay there. We'll go somewhere else. God gave it to us, but we'll go somewhere else. So you got to ask yourself that question. Right. You're posing a moral question to dissuade or to invalidate that it was land that they stole.
Right. I think the brother's being less contentious and more asking the question on what we believe. And I think again, I'm gonna say it one more time. Really, go watch that video, bro, because it'll, if nothing else, it will let you know what Salt of the Earth believes about the whole Canaanite and taking the name, stealing the name and all that stuff. It will really lay out for you what we believe about that.
I understand what the brother is asking, but the thing is, you're tying the religious aspect to it, and you're saying, well, the God giveth and taketh away, and one of the other questions the brother asked, and we're not arguing with you, so forgive me if we were a little animate. The point is that the lands were distributed according to the sons of Noah. Japheth was given Asia. When Japheth, he killed in his acquisitions. Everybody of the sons of Noah at different points have acquired lands or fought people off the lands. It's just highlighted in the Bible that specifically talks about us fighting the Canaanites. And you can see even in that, we didn't go into the land of Moab. Did you notice that? That when we came upon Moab, we didn't go in there. When we came upon Ammon, we didn't go in there. When we came upon Esau, we didn't go in there because that was given to them. But when we came to Canaan, which belonged to us, we were allowed to take back what was already given to us. So it would be bad to sit there and say that, man, the Most High just made us nomadic. If we came home, they could take our land and we just forced to go wherever. That's so just to get you to understand in that context.
Right. And not even to the brother at this point, but I just want to point out something real quick before we close. See how we started talking about doctrine?
Absolutely.
Right. And not the brother demand where I'm not putting this towards you at all. I'm just making a general statement about where we tend to go. I would venture that everybody listening to us right now is likely a Hebrew Israelite, right? They would classify themselves as a Hebrew Israelite who believes that we are the people. But why is it that we always veer off and start talking about doctrine? This show, this live that we did itself, is about the fact that that's what we do. And that's what we wind up doing. I just think it's kind of strange. Just wanted to point that out real quick. All right, brother Elijah.
Because doctrine is a way to be in disagreement, and I think that's where we cleave to a lot of times. Oh, he says, I'm an atheist just learning.
All right. Oh,
okay.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, I mean, that's a whole nother question to answer regarding the proofs of God, because everything you see around you is the proofs of the Most High God. See what I'm saying? Where you would give proofs to happenstance you're not giving proof to the Creator, and that's a whole nother discussion, you know. And your question about Canaan is not answering your question as an atheist. You know, being an atheist, that's a whole nother question you had to ask. How do we prove God? But when everything around you proves the Most High God, you know. But I know we're not talking about that right now. But check out some of our works on these subjects.
No, I'm gonna put. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I'm gonna put the link to the name video in the chat right now, bro. So there it goes. Brother Duran, if you have it, check out that video, man, and hit us up. And let us know what you think of the video. You wanna discuss it. You have any questions? I'm sure you will. Just hit us up.
And that's an interesting thing too, that, you know, Brother Duran, that you're atheist, and the way to affirm atheism is to question what God told his people to do. Like, that seemed to be a defense. Your questions is questioning the morality of what the instruction was to do, and to affirm being an atheist. Like, that's two different things. It's interesting that that's where you went with that. But I'm not to scrutinize, to come at you in a side way, just to say you went to, hey, let me judge that God's thinking. And that's the real thing that you're asking, compared to saying, okay, well, why commit genocide against somebody, or, you know, but that was really where you were at with it. But never mind.
Right. No, I get you. Hey, bro, you know how to put, because Brother Duran, we're not gonna be on tomorrow. You know, Brother Lasha, you know how to put our email address in the chat. What is our email address?
Salt of the Earth Productions. We don't really use. Brother Bonnier usually is the one who's over that.
Yeah, we could grab, both of us could grab it though. I could look out for his email and
let me
grab it.
see. I think it's let me go through some of here and see if I can find. All right, I think it's Salt of the Earth 144@gmail.com.
Yeah,
I think it'll go straight to Brother Bonnier if you email us there.
All right, exactly. Okay, so hopefully you got the email, Brother Duran, our email address. So watch the video. You got any questions, hit us up with an email, man. We'll be happy to answer your questions.
Right. What do we want to say about how often we'll be on, man? Like some days that we could come on, you know, and talk about certain issues. We wouldn't be able to be on as long. But we'll discuss coming on more often, or, you know, maybe, you know, we'll talk about that after the live, me and Brother Najee. I know we like a pop-up shop. We just all of a sudden we done popped up.
Right.
But we'll talk about that in a couple, 2 shakes of a lamb still.
Right. Exactly. One thing we don't want to do is make no promises. All right, Brother Lasha.
Yeah, good. We'll talk about it in a second. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings to everybody. Shabbat shalom to the fam. Miss and love y'all. Praying the Most High is with y'all in your houses. Praying y'all are protected. Praying that we cast iniquity far from our thoughts and our heart. Praying that the Most High deliver us soon according to the prophecies and the deliverance, the second Exodus. Praying that we walk in the spirit of Yeshua HaMashiach, his son, to repentance, and walk in the law, statutes, commandments, full of faith and hope in the Most High, knowing the things that we believe in the scriptures are true and are happening, and that the prophecies will be fulfilled regarding our people. So blessings to all Israel.
Blessings to all of Israel. I'm gonna end this like Brother Bonnier would. Walk in faith, walk in truth, and walk in obedience.
Amen.
Shalom, fam.
Shalom.